3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
If you're just joining us, Perloff is putting the finishing touches on 16 ounces of peanut butter. The man is a legend. Got the closer spoon, and Andrew Perloff, like Usain Bolt, cruising to the finish line. Last bite.
I flew way too close to the sun. Now I'm about to throw up all over the sun. Something feels wrong.
Yeah. Something looks wrong.
I don't feel well.
Ooh.
I'm glad I got through the first jar. That second jar was the biggest mistake of my entire life.
Yeah.
I was doing so good.
It took years off your life. Thank you, Ack, for correcting his grammar.
Ack, honestly, I can choose which way to throw up. I'm definitely going in your direction. So stop talking.
They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
Yeah, we are. Hope wherever you are, you're having a fantastic Monday. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff hanging out with you. And what a game last night. Miami evens the series, Perloff, at 1 game apiece. We'll talk about the momentum shifting and Miami wrestling the momentum back from Denver. But
wait, the same Miami team you said was dead and toast the other day?
I'm still Miami in 5.
Oh, you mean Denver in 5?
Excuse me, Denver in 5. Yes, I'm still Denver in 5.
Now you're still Denver in 5.
I'm still Denver in 5.
I like it.
And I'll tell you why. I'm not going to bury it for you. Here's why. That was the wake-up call that Denver needed.
Okay.
They got out-hustled in that game. Yeah. They got outsmarted in the game. The Miami's role players hit every shot. Denver's role players were not as big of a factor in making some dumb decisions, stupid fouls, things like that. This was the wake-up call where Denver just saw, hey, we're the 1 seed, we're the best team in the NBA, and there's a possibility here that we get punked by, yes, a very good 8 seed, but by the Miami Heat. That can't happen. You can't have the 2-time MVP, who's now the greatest player who's ever lived. You've noticed that's happened, right, with Jokic.
Yeah.
He went from the anonymous superstar to now the greatest NBA player in the history of mankind.
All you need is one more game where Miami shoots close to 50% from 3, which sounds outlandish, but they've been doing that all postseason. You know Miami's going to get hot at least one more time. So I think they make it a longer. I'm not bold enough to pick the Heat to win this thing, but you have to at least admit, Maggie, it crossed your mind last night that, hey, wait a second. I've been not counting this Miami team in all postseason. Just maybe they could do this. Are you saying, or didn't even cross your mind?
Well, I was big on Miami against Boston, but so was everybody when they went up 3-0. But here's the thing. I think that Miami met the moment. And I don't know if Denver has yet been forced to meet the moment, and now they have to. They have, so far this entire postseason, they have not played a road game tied. Like, they have not experienced this any kind of adversity, if you will. And Miami's been living with adversity. I mean, every part of Miami's journey through these playoffs has been improbable, counted out, I guess, except for the Knicks series. People betting against them, having to, be resilient, these backs against the wall things, and Denver hasn't had to do any of that yet.
Well, yeah, but you could also argue that Joker and Jamal Murray are both shooting really well. What if one of them doesn't happen a lot. What if one of them got cold just one game? That kills your gentleman's sweep. Just one of them. I mean, Joker just throws the ball in the general direction of the backboard, and it hits something and goes in. I understand what you're saying. I do like Denver as well. But, man, Miami has just got this magical element. We keep counting them out, and they keep defying all expectations. They're short. They're inconsistent. They're not really deep at all, but somehow somebody steps up all the time.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why all of a sudden Heat culture takes on this mythic kind of thing, because it's hard to explain it. But then it kind of is. But then you kind of can explain it, though. You can explain it by Spoelstra making, good adjustments.
Well, by the way, on that, I'm the one. I said put in Kevin Love in Game 1. Why was that a good adjustment? Why was it Kevin Love in Game 1? Why did you have Gabe Vincent covering Aaron Gordon? So that wasn't some genius coaching move. That was common sense.
Well, how about this? Kevin Love, I thought it was really like a back issue, because he also didn't play Game 6 or Game 7 against Boston.
Right.
So he hadn't played in 3 games. He goes into the starting lineup, plays 22 minutes, and is the team's leading rebounder. Yeah,
that was a huge adjustment, but I feel like Spoelstra shouldn't get credit for that, because you had about 4 guards on the court against a gigantic Denver team. Anyway, so you're right. Spoelstra makes adjustments. All that stuff could happen again, Maggie. You know what? I think you need to start believing in the Heat a little more.
I mean, listen, I love the Heat for making this interesting. They are very easy to root for. I find during the game, like when they got down by 15 points in the second quarter, and it was like 50-35, you're like, oh man, like don't do this. If there's one team I think can come back and actually make it a game, it is Miami. They're never rolling over. I mean, nobody would in the finals, but I think they intimidate people. I do, because they are a smart team. I do think they intimidate people.
They're not intimidating the Nuggets. You think they are?
I think there's an intimidating factor about Miami, because there's like a desperation that they play with. Maybe it's with all the guys who are undrafted, or it's like some kind of different thing they have, or the way Jimmy Butler is, or sets the tone, or comes from Pat Riley. Who knows? But there's like some kind of desperation. You know they're going to be smart, and the only way you beat them is if you just miss shots. With Denver last night, they're fouling 3-point shooters left and right. I mean, there's just all these things that Miami just doesn't seem to do.
I think that Denver looked and said, well, we're a way better team. They just got hot from 3. That was the only. And that's, by the way, today's NBA. I mean, some team, it's hard to sweep anyone because everyone gets hot from 3. So, I kind of don't think Denver's scared. I think they think we're a way better team. You saw at the end of the game last night, they finally woke up and said, whoa, we're about to lose this game.
They did.
Let's drop a bunch of points on them at the end and make it interesting. So I think it's just a matter of Miami's shooting. Are they going to be able to have this incredible hot clip? I mean, Gabe Vincent, he looked like Steph Curry last night.
I know.
He took over the Caleb Martin thing, and now there's a new Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent. It doesn't make any sense.
How about Duncan Robinson?
Duncan Robinson.
10 straight points. How about Bam?
How about Duncan Robinson scoring points in the paint? Have you ever seen Duncan Robinson in his entire life hit a layup?
And it was fun points of the paint. It's like the guy's
with guys on
constantly
him.
moving, and he's like getting to the rim. He's mean mugging. He's flexing. Want to listen to Jimmy Butler?
Love listening to Jimmy Butler.
All right, let's listen to a little Jimmy about the difference really between the Heat and everyone else.
I just think nobody cares on our team. We're not worried about what anybody thinks. We're so focused in on what we do well and who we are as a group that at the end of the day, that's what we fall back on, and that's not going to change. So that's what I think it is. I think it's the I don't give a damn factor.
You know what's funny? I think I was like, oh, Jimmy, he's just, everybody says that about the Heat or this or that. You and I talked to George Carl on Friday when we were filling in for Jim Rome. And thanks again to everyone from Jim Rome. That was a lot of fun. But George Carl joined us, the former, head coach of the Nuggets and the Hall of Famer. And he said he thought that, there was a moment where Miami looked a little shell-shocked, right? Like, oh, my gosh, this is the finals. Like the role players when Max Strus goes 0 for 10.
Oh, yeah.
And he's talking about, geez, and now all of a sudden you're like playing in the finals where Michael Jordan played and, Magic Johnson and like all these people you might have idolized or whatever. And now it's on you and you like get a little tight. Maybe that is what happened to Miami in game one.
Yeah.
And then game two, they are much more comfortable where Strus looked amazing and hit shots early to get the tone going. And Duncan Robinson and Gabe Vincent.
They jumped out early to have this huge lead. Then the Nuggets pulled it close at the end of the first quarter. Then the Nuggets took off in the second quarter and had a 15-point lead. You mentioned it earlier in the segment. I do not understand how Miami won the game after that. It still doesn't, logically, I can't put it together. That run in the fourth quarter was so unexpected to me because Denver usually has that altitude advantage in the fourth quarter. And Miami, all of a sudden, Butler woke up.
Yep.
Adebayo did not miss a free throw. They did everything right. You're right. They don't seem to make the mistakes that other teams make. I don't think the Nuggets made that many mistakes last night. Porter played terrible, and KCP didn't show up.
Well, and KCP fouling three-point shooters. I mean, and
that's true.
There was even a moment with Joker who, again, God's gift to basketball. Never seen anyone as good as Nikola Jokic. All of a sudden, he's better than Jordan. He's the best player. Have you guys noticed that the pendulum has swung really the other way on? Nikola Jokic, never heard of him. Now Nikola Jokic, how did basketball exist without him? But anyway, there was a moment where he picked up, I believe, his second foul, and he thought it was BS, and they were chirping at the refs all night, and there were a couple of bad calls, but they're chirping at the refs. He picks up the second foul, and 30 seconds later picked up the third because he just swatted Adebayo across the head. And they're like, that's a frustration foul from Jokic. Like, even he was kind of losing his cool a little bit out there.
It was the free path foul where he wrapped his arm around Bam and they looked at it. I still don't understand those calls at all.
Neither does Van Gundy or
But Van
Jackson,
Gundy's going back and forth on whether it's a flagrant or not has now become the high comedy. He's like, well, I think it's all flagrant. What, by the way, flagrant fouls. There was one where Aaron Gordon just ran through a pick and they reviewed it to see if it was flagrant. The NBA is so soft right now, but that's regardless. So I think that Joker is God's gift to basketball. I think you are underestimating him by even questioning this.
I'm afraid lightning is going to strike me down dead in the studio. I'm not questioning it. I'm just saying the pendulum has swung pretty hard on Joker here.
Yes, because it's the first time most of us have watched this many Joker games in a row. Yeah. I saw the ratings have been not as bad as I thought. So I think the world is I do think the world is meeting Joker for the first time because no one saw him in the bubble. And because Jamal Murray's been hurt, they haven't really done much in the playoffs. So this is really to see him do it at this level consistently. Come on, it's impressive, Maggie. And I feel like you would be a little sarcastic there.
I'm being 100% sarcastic, but I'm impressed so much that I still have the Nuggets in 5. Okay. I still think that Jokic is incredible. He really is. And now we're asking you if you think the momentum has changed in the series. Perloff says absolutely yes. I say absolutely no. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Okay, a lot more to get to. We're already getting questions in the chat, by the way, if you want to watch the show, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio, about your big basketball tournament this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I wasn't going to bring it up. I see Nick in Texas has the details, the receipts. I mean, he looked like it was pretty bad. Maybe save that. Let's save it.
It was way worse than Nick even knows.
Oh boy,
it was lack of.
You guys were holding practices and everything, though. You took this seriously.
It wasn't just the lack of team success. The lack of individual success was glaring.
Oh no, you were the weak link. Okay, save it. Okay,
yes.
we'll save it.
Confidence is a thing, and I lost it hard. hardcore on Saturday.
Oh, no. We have no video of this? How do we not have video? I should have driven out there
was
myself.
also I'm sorry, I'll just tease it real quick. There was a white men can't jump moment where pretty much everybody was like, what's our game plan if guns start showing up at this? Because there was a massive brawl between two teams.
Wait a minute. I thought this was like a legitimate tournament in the suburbs.
The suburbs. That was in Queens. It was Long Island City.
Okay, different kind of suburb.
Yeah, no, this was not the suburbs. This got super heated. There were teams from different parts of the city, and we didn't belong there. We got destroyed. But this was not pretty.
Wow. Okay, a lot more to the story than we ever thought. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. We start with the NBA Finals, and then, because the basketball just can never give us a moment to breathe, the most hilarious story you'll ever hear is coming your way next. I mean, how did it take even this, what is it, June 5th? How did it even take till June 5th for this kind of ridiculousness to make its way into the NBA world? Honestly, I'm stunned. So we'll get to that in just a minute. Maggie and Perloff, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, hanging out with you across the country on our CBS Sports Radio affiliates. We love them. Also, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio is where you can watch the show. A lot more to do. Don't move. The show rolls on in just moments.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
So, funny you played this song. I bought a new book this weekend. It's the history of the Beastie Boys.
Nice.
And looks so good. I mean, every middle-aged guy is going to die for this book. But it's interesting. It started out, and it had this line. This is why I bought it. Because it said, every group of friends has, the person you love to party with,
okay,
the person that you like to sort of confide in, like your good friend. I don't know if you have a friend like this who you tell your secrets and your sort of worries. And then there's the friend who inspires everybody to do things, to be great. I don't know if your group has that. We have that. I'm not that guy in my group, but I wish I was.
Who are you in the group?
I am the guy you confide in.
You confide in, yeah.
Probably.
You're the Volt.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was thinking Jimmy Butler is definitely the guy that inspires everyone to be great. That was my connection.
Okay.
So Ad Rock was saying that, I think Adam Yoke, one or the other, was the guy that made everybody wanted to be great. So it's funny. I was just thinking, I've been thinking about that all weekend long, that every group has that one guy. And I think that's why the Heat kind of defy logic, because they have Jimmy Butler and he makes everybody have this attitude.
Okay, but is it Butler or is that person Riley?
Well, that could be.
Because it come from Riley, and Jimmy Butler's really just who you want to party with. I mean, he looks pretty fun on those beer commercials.
Well, that sound we played in the first segment where he's like, nobody, we just don't care what you think of us. You're right. That could easily be Riley. I mean,
I always thought Riley set the tone. Spoelstra was sort of the tactician, and I think sets the tone a little bit too. But I always thought it all came from Riley and I always go back to this one thing. Maggie and Perloff show, by the way. Hey, I always go back to this one thing. Do you remember when LeBron first came to Miami?
Yeah.
With Wade and Bosh. And there was a moment where it was kind of, they had like hit some adversity in the first year before they got to the finals. But they had hit some adversity, and it was like LeBron and Spoelstra like bumped each other.
Yeah,
after
I
he
do
called
remember
a
that got into
timeout.
it. Yep, I
know
remember
this seems like minutia, but you might remember what I'm talking about. And they like bumped each other, and it was like a hard bump, like kind of like maybe there was a little bit more to it. And Spoelstra didn't like back down or anything. And I always thought it was because Riley was the one who had his back. Like, hey, Riley, like Spoelstra's not going anywhere. He's a great coach, and he has my seal of approval. And nobody's going to come and circumvent Spoelstra and try to get him fired, like what happens every day, it seems like, in the NBA, where superstars go over the head of the coach and get them fired. We see all these coaches getting fired all the time. And I always thought that Riley having the back of Spoelstra always really mattered. Maybe that was the beginning, too.
Yeah, I don't know.
20 years later.
Gabe Vincent, right. Did Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin and those guys are they really impacted by Pat Riley? That's what I wonder. Because I think you could. I mean, I think a lot of people think it's Butler. I
think it is. I think Butler's like an extension of Riley.
Butler has this cool about him that is sort of unique. That being said, they haven't won a title, so it's not like we're anointing them a little bit.
Wait, on this show, who are the people with your Beastie Boys comparison? So on this show, me, you, Samper, Stu.
Don't make me do this.
Who's the Who's the F, Mary kill here? Who are we giving? I'm sending all of my secrets to Stu.
Yes, Stu.
Stu,
All right.
you're a vault.
Thanks.
Perloff, I think you're a vault too.
No. Well, I'll tell my wife.
Well,
that count?
that's a spousal thing. You gotta do it.
See, what you're overlooking here with Stu, though, is Stu is very close friends with Gallo. And Gallo talks to everybody.
Oh, right.
So Stu might be a vault, but if he lets one thing slip to the wrong person,
It's over.
It's
Oh,
over.
yeah.
Then the world knows. So I trust Stu, but I also don't trust who he associates with.
I would party with Samter. I think Samter would be the party person.
10 years ago.
I think he still got it in.
Yeah, I got a little bit in me.
Yeah.
And so I think Perloff aspires to be better. Maybe you are
No.
the Jimmy Butler.
No way. There's no way I'm that.
He's a very optimistic, positive person, so he does,
You
like,
are.
whether he's doing it on purpose.
No. But honestly, I think as a show, we're not quite where we need to be in terms of Miami Heatness. Our Heat culture.
Our Heat culture could use a little work.
I think we're more like talented. I think we're like the Phoenix Suns. Like, yeah.
Well, I don't like that.
Yeah.
No, like Kevin Durant and Booker.
Okay.
You're Kevin Durant, I'm Booker.
I don't want to be Durant. I want to be Booker.
Well, I just think that we haven't won the championship yet, so I think we have more to aspire to.
Yeah.
I think honestly.
What if we get the 1,000 new YouTube subscribers? Then can we upgrade from Phoenix to Miami?
Yes, I like that. I
Maybe.
like. Is that? I mean, do you guys think we're Miami? You think we're playing? Like we're hitting 60% of our threes against the Denver Nuggets? I don't know if we're there yet. I think
Maybe not on a consistent basis, but I think we can get there.
I think we can. I guess Spike would be our Pat Riley.
I think Spike's our Pat Riley.
Spike,
yeah.
our boss, would be our Pat Riley. Dave Marinek, the associate program manager, would be who's he? Spoelstra?
He could be Spoelstra. Who's the Heat mascot? Because Dave would be great. He's like so positive. He's like, guys are doing a great job.
Who's going to be Zoe, the sort of mean-looking guy who looks great in a suit on the sideline, sitting next to
The
Riley?
enforcer?
Yeah.
We get our Zoe and our Udonis Haslam.
Dave Marinek is the opposite of Zoe.
Dave is not our enforcer.
Their mascot is Bernie. Burnie, like burn.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Bernie, yeah.
But
So Marinek is Bernie.
Who's our enforcer at CBS Sports Radio? Who's the muscle around here?
Wow.
Zach Gelb.
Is Zach, though? He's kind
Zach's-
of a lover, not a fighter, right?
No. Zach actually blocked me one day when he was filling in for you, like an offensive lineman blocking a pass rusher.
Oh, I thought you meant like blocking you on social media.
No. He hit me in the shoulders, and I thought we were messing around, and I was in pain for a good 3 days. So
Wow, okay.
Zach could be the enforcer. He's the Zoe.
Okay.
I like that.
All right. It'll have to be Zoe and Udonis, even though he's younger than us.
So, okay. All right. I like where this is going. And I'm Caleb Martin against Boston.
Yeah. What are you, Caleb Martin, in game 2?
No, I'm Gabe Vincent.
Yes, there you
Although
go.
I still get
Classic
the two confused.
Perloff bandwagoning.
I mean, let's be honest. I'm Kevin Love. I couldn't possibly be more Kevin Love.
Great passer, though, Kevin Love. Those outlet passes.
Those outlet passes are killer.
855-212-4CBS. Mark is in Miami. We'll get to the crazy NBA story that made us laugh, cry, roll our eyes. We'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah.
Mark, what's up? How you doing, dude?
What's up, guys? Yeah, I predicted the Heat to win in 7. I know the only guy who's going out on a major limb predicting that, but I felt like game 1, I thought the Nuggets were going to take handle, but I think Spoelstra is a master tactician, is the best coach in the league, is his adjustments in game 2. And I knew game 2 they came out firing away, but
Yeah.
you knew the Nuggets at home, that's why they haven't lost up until last night at home, is they come out and jump on you right away, but the Heat came out right away. I love the way that Vincent Strus really came out. He was the key because he was a no-show in game 1.
Yeah.
And then you figured the Nuggets were going to make their run, take the lead. And I just love the way the fourth quarter is the way that Spo has really instilled confidence in Duncan Robinson, who's completely out of the rotation. And, even though Tyler Hero is out, and that's why the majority of the reason why he's playing. Still, I love the way the guy's balling. I mean, I know he
Wait
got
a minute,
a contract.
Mark.
A lot
Let's
of people
pause on Hero for a second, right? Because, again, courtside, another bucket hat.
Love
This
it.
guy must have a lifetime supply of Mark.
Yeah, he always dresses like that. He's got a flashy. That's why Jack Harlow made that song about him, the Tyler Hero song. But guys, it's just incredible. I think Bam Adebayo. I know you're not going to stop Joker, but I think he's playing as well as you can play the guy. And offensively, he's making him work, which Joker really doesn't like to do. Is Bam, when he's physical, he's one of the best bigs in the league. You just don't see it. But I love the way they came out. And then
Mark, question.
closing out that game. Yeah.
Don't you think something looks off with Jimmy Butler? Maggie and I were talking about
he came to life down in a couple of minutes of the stretch there. He's the one who really iced the game away. So I know he's really come out kind of flat, but I think the guys he really has played like that because he hasn't been aggressive lately, which I think he wants to get guys like Vincent and Strus and Bam really going before he starts to take over the game. And you saw that down the stretch of the fourth quarter. But I think you're going to see games 3 and 4 in Miami here. He's going to really attack B and then attack mode and really start to take over the games, guys. I feel good. I think
you think this is classic. We're getting classic Jimmy Butler. Mark, you're the best. Thank you. You're getting more classic, air quotes, Jimmy Butler games back in Miami.
Maybe, but I think he's lost some confidence because until he got a really good foul call and saw a couple free throws go through, until then he had no faith in his outside shot. He just didn't think he could hit it.
Well, that's the funny thing about Miami, right? It's always like, keep passing, the best shot. And sometimes I'm like, well, or just take the shot.
No, I mean, they're begging Jimmy to shoot from outside, and he's not doing it. I think that his shot has been, I mean, his scoring is way, way down. So there's got to be something going on. 8 points in the fourth
quarter last night, obviously, but for the game, 21.
Yeah, 21 and 13 in 2 finals games. This is a guy who's scoring 40 a game against Milwaukee. I think his ankle is hurting him because he couldn't even finish around the basket, which he's usually amazing at.
Tyler Hero's an interesting one. We'll get to that in just a moment because what do you do with Hero? Do you bring him back?
Great
game
question.
3, he's coming off of a broken hand. Like, you've been really good without him, but I don't think this is some BS Ewing theory like a Bill Simmons thing where they're better because he's on the bench. I just think other guys have stepped up.
But I think that's a legitimate question.
Okay, so this was something, I got to be honest, you could have given me 1,000 guesses and I wouldn't have come to this conclusion today. How about this fun one from Shams Charania of The Athletic, who drops this tweet earlier today. Sources: Kyrie Irving has reached out to the Lakers star LeBron James in an attempt to see if James would come to Dallas. Irving is a free agent this offseason, period, and then just drops that on all of our laps.
Great.
What universe does Kyrie Irving live in? I mean, I know he's on another planet, one that doesn't have edges, but what planet is he on that he thinks that this is going to possibly work? What does he know that we don't know? Is this just like throwing something up against the wall and hoping it sticks? Or does he really have intel? Because there is no reason for LeBron to leave to go to Dallas. If anything, just bring Kyrie to L.A.
Well, I mean, what's wrong with asking for LeBron to come to your team? He's not the GM. He can say whatever he wants.
But why would LeBron? This is too many obstacles. First of all, you'd have to trade for him. He's got a year and then an option year left on his deal. His kid just signed up to go to USC, presumably, so he'll be in LA.
Well, I mean, the argument is you have a better chance to win a title in Dallas because you have Luka, Kyrie, and LeBron.
But do you? Is that a title team?
I don't think so. I mean, they might get out of the first round.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Dallas didn't make the playoffs this year, and I know a lot of that was tied into the draft pick, and Dallas eventually just waved the white flag on the season. But I mean, is Luka shown that he can actually be a winning player? And he's dribble, shoot. LeBron's not going to want to play with that.
Well, maybe not. I mean, he played with Kyrie, who's that kind of style in Cleveland. So then you have 3 of those guys. Chris Haynes from Bleacher Reports, Turner Sports, also reported on this. He said that the Mavs put together a serious offer for LeBron when the Lakers were struggling last year, which I did not realize. So the Mavericks have this feel they often get in on the biggest names. They're like the San Diego Padres of the NBA. Yeah. I'm not saying they get them. So I can understand the Mavs. I'm sure there's 50 times where Mark Cuban said, what's the plan? How are we going to get LeBron? Now, logistically, this is not going to happen. But what if LeBron goes to L.A.? I'm not staying here. I'm pulling an Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to retire unless you trade me. Then maybe, is there at least
he should have his head
exploration? Why?
Because you just got to the Western Conference Finals. And granted, you got swept. That was not pretty. But as the world now is learning that Nikola Jokic is the best player to ever hold a basketball, you can understand that the Nuggets were light years ahead of LA. But LA had just made these trades at the trade deadline, brought in some new pieces, elevated some role players, and kind of found their stride a little bit more. Does that look like a team you want to abandon right now?
Oh, Maggie, with your common sense. How dare you talk about the NBA and bring out all these logical points, not to mention the new salary cap, which makes this utterly impossible. Now, could you see LeBron has made some bad personnel decisions in his life?
Yes.
I mean, one of the worst ones that we all knew was bringing Russell Westbrook to the Lakers last year, and that was his decision. Now, if you can make a decision that disastrous, maybe you can rejoin Kyrie. And it does seem like he wants to be with Kyrie, which in my opinion is a bad idea because Kyrie's just lack of durability, lack of consistency, lack of accountability. I don't think Kyrie will be there in the end of the day. So I think that's a mistake. But if he made the Westbrook mistake, I mean, is there anything he's not capable of, Maggie?
That's why I said the moment that the Lakers season ended, I said keep LeBron and keep him as far away from the front office as humanly possible. I mean, you got to take how many phones do you think LeBron owns? 10? Throw them all into the Pacific Ocean. Don't let him call anybody. Don't let him text anybody. Great player, terrible general manager.
I do love his dad tweets at night when he's watching TV.
He's like clearly like on the John or watching basketball. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, he's just like the rest of us. He's like, yeah, hey, what's the deal with that call in the Broncos game or something? It's so LeBron. It's such a dad.
I know. Now we got Taco Tuesday commercials. I mean, it never ends. And I'm a huge LeBron fan, but this would just be terrible. I mean, the only person this really works out for is Kyrie, because he would get to stay in Dallas where they can offer him a max contract where he gets like over $200 million. And Luka gets his money, obviously. And then LeBron's the one who finishes out the contract, $46 million, then $50 for the next year?
It's a lot of money. Well, here's the thing, though. If you're the Lakers and you could clear $33 million of cap space. I've heard numbers in the low 30s to 35. If you call Kyrie and say, will you come here for less money, what do you think Kyrie Irving says?
Does he want to win?
I tell you right now, Kyrie has shown no interest in taking less money.
Probably not.
I don't think he's the kind of guy who'd do that.
Well, to be fair, I mean, a lot of people wouldn't.
That's true, but we're talking about Kyrie here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like, is everything like new age and trying to find a different plane to be on to, play basketball at the highest level? Or is it about getting max contracts? It's probably a little bit of both. I guess also, can someone give me the last time the Lakers tried to jettison an aging star? I mean, the Shaq thing was because he and Comey didn't get along. That's not because they wanted to get rid of Shaq. That was because they had to make a choice between Shaq and Kobe.
Dwight Howard, where do you go from there? I don't even remember.
But Dwight Howard was like, his back was broken.
Well, you said an aging star. I mean,
like, they're not giving up on LeBron.
No.
They're not all of a sudden like, hey, you know what? Let's process this thing. Why think we're the Lakers. Let's get rid of LeBron and Anthony Davis. Let's really start from scratch with Austin Reeves. Well, it's not going to happen.
Probably not.
Reeves, I love it.
I mean.
But do you think last year there was at least a conversation when things were going bad before the trade deadline? They must have at least, if the Mavericks really put together a trade package and called them, they probably thought about it. No, I'm not saying they did it.
But the Mavericks put together a trade package that, as far as what I could read, was unable to be executed because of the timing of it. LeBron, when he signed the extension, couldn't actually be traded.
Yeah.
So congrats from the front office, whoever put that together and wasted all their time.
I would just love to see. I'd love to be a fly on the wall when the Mavericks are trying to put together their package for LeBron. All right, what do we got? I'm looking at their depth chart. It is such a collection of random players.
Yeah, it's like, can I interest you in a Reggie Bullock?
Reggie Bullock? I mean, these are Frank Ntilikina's on that team? Is that right?
Frankie Smokes? Hell yeah.
Yeah, you got Maxi Kleber, of course, who's been disappointing Mavs fans for a decade now. Christian Wood has been, how many teams has he been on now? Davis Bertans is a Mav? Okay. Josh Green. There's so many guys who are like, oh, that guy's on the Mavs still. Now, Tim Hardaway Jr. is still there, so is that any value?
Contract.
He's got a big contract. Yeah, there's nothing to trade here.
Stu, as a Laker fan, what's your 1 to 10? Are you actually nervous that LeBron's going to abandon ship and go to Dallas?
I got 2.5, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty low. Like you guys said, Dallas doesn't really have anything to give, so that kind of makes all this irrelevant, I guess. I don't know.
I love the also report. LeBron James, he loves Jason Kidd. It's like, well, Jason Kidd's in the hot seat. I mean, how long is Jason Kidd going to be there for? I don't get the timing of this. I don't get any of it.
No. I don't think by the way, and I've been reading a lot about this today, I do not think the Lakers want Kyrie Irving. They've shown that they're a smart team. Well, the logistics of getting Kyrie Irving.
Well, now he's an unrestricted free agent.
Right. So to pay him what he wants, they'd have to do a sign and trade with Dallas, which Dallas is not going to do.
No.
So already, because unless you could convince Kyrie to come on a bargain deal, which again, I don't think he's the kind of player that does that. There is no way. I think the Lakers, as you earlier said, I think they like what they got going. I think they want to give this a shot. So to get Kyrie, they have to say goodbye to Rui. They have to say goodbye to Schroeder. They have to say goodbye to everyone who played so well in the playoffs. I think they're smart enough not to do that.
Thomas L. in this chat, he'd say I'd sail off the edge of the flat earth before I accept last money. I mean, kinda. Like, how many franchises does Kyrie Irving have to completely submarine before someone's like, maybe I won't give him $200 million? I know it's a players' league, but, like, good grief.
How much money has Kyrie Irving made?
Let's guess.
$400 million?
I was going to say something like, closer to 300.
300 million.
Just from basketball, not endorsements.
I know people are going to say I'm lying, but okay, 233. I would definitely take less money to win a title because
He's won one though.
Okay, you're right. Win another title because your legacy is going to be defined by that. Later in life, when you're on your deathbed, you're going to look back and say, "Man, if I had just done something to win another title." That's how you define yourselves.
Do you realize how lucky at this point Kyrie Irving would be if his legacy is defined by titles? I mean, that would be a real 180 from all the other things out there that could be defining his legacy at present.
Well, he has a chance to turn it around at the end. I mean, we only remember the last few years of any career. So
he can tweet forever.
So his
31. Instagram account will live from now to the end of, when the AI robots come and all wipe us off the face of the earth.
Well, he made a mistake because he angered the Boston fans, and Boston media runs the NBA media. Bill Simmons, Chris Mannix, et cetera. So I think that was his mistake. I think the media is never going to forgive him for that. But if he puts together one more run, everyone will jump right back on that bandwagon.
Listen, LeBron's already back on his bandwagon. Like, it didn't even take a lot. LeBron's his biggest champion now.
Supposedly. We'll see. We don't really know what LeBron wants. He's saying he wants Kyrie, but I don't see Kyrie in a Lakers uniform. So
not right, not yet. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. So that one was just made us chuckle today. Not Stu so much. Stu was at
very serious about this.
At a 2.5, but everyone else laughed. Okay, coming up, one Super Bowl contender adds a big piece, but does it look smart or desperate? We'll get to that in just a moment after this CBS Sports Update with Emmanuel Barbari.
Sports Flash.
And guys, you said it. Kyrie Irving set to be a free agent, but apparently doubling down on Dallas somewhat. Irving reportedly reaching out to LeBron James to see if he joined the Mavericks this offseason. Still unclear if Kyrie will be back in Dallas. If the Heat couldn't fight back in Denver, may have been looking at a short series here, but Miami back in the driver's seat.
Our guys, regardless of how the head coach feels like during the fourth quarter, our guys love to compete. They love to put themselves out there in those moments of truth.
Head coach Eric Spoelstra, the Heat back in Miami, series tied at 1, couple of days off, now have home court advantage in the NBA Finals. Stanley Cup Final, Game 2 tonight. Golden Knights a 1-0 series lead over the Panthers. Vegas can go up 2-0 at home, or the Panthers can level the series. Baseball, in half an hour, Rays can take 3 of 4 from the Red Sox in Boston. Shane McClanahan, Rays ace, 8-1, 2.07 ERA, takes the ball for Tampa. Rays still have the best record in baseball, 42-19. NFL, Bills signing linebacker Leonard Floyd to a 1-year deal, at least 9 sacks each of the last 3 years with the Rams. I'm Emmanuel Barbari.
Looking for CBS Sports Radio online? Your favorite hosts and the best sports content and entertainment are available 24/7 on social media and YouTube, and in the palm of your hand with the free Odyssey app. CBS Sports Radio.
'You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
The Pros, where you can ask us a question. It's brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Simply tweet your question at CBS Sports Radio or Maggie and Perloff, Maggie and Pearl, using the hashtag #AskThePros. Be listening later in the show when we might answer your question. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get guaranteed low prices and excellent customer service from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Perloff and I just talking in the break about some NFL stuff that's going on. We'll get you up to speed for a second, but you're like, oh, this guy, he's so shredded.
Yeah, he's like my body double.
Yes, we all say that. We're talking about Leonard Floyd.
Yeah.
Let's just let people in on that. He signed with the Bills, reportedly a 1-year deal, and Perloff's like, oh, that guy's always looked so shredded. You know, don't you think
sounds weird when you say it like that, but yeah.
Sorry. Don't you think that having a six-pack, that's genetic, right? I'm like, yeah, I have heard from some athletes that they've had a six-pack for their whole life. Like Simone Biles, the gymnast, once told me that she had a six-pack when she was like 2. Like, it's just some kind of weird genetic thing. She always looks like she has a six-pack. She's obviously made of granite as well. Do you think you could actually get a six-pack?
I I don't know. I mean, yes, I guess there's got to be a way. I would have to starve myself and do every exercise under the sun.
Wait, you have to starve yourself for a six-pack? I know you can't eat sugar and carbs and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I think you would definitely have to starve yourself because you have to get rid of all body fat.
Oh, really? I
mean, I don't know. What do you think? How do you think the best way to get a six-pack is?
Well, I'm just wondering, could we do, do you think that if you and I really tried for a month that one of us could get a six-pack?
No.
No?
I do not think so. No, I've never had a six-pack.
I've never had one either. I've never really tried.
I don't know if I have those muscles under there.
Yeah, there.
I honestly think either of you could get there in a month.
A month?
Like me, no, because I have a layer of bad things on top of what would be a six-pack underneath it. But you two are both slim, in reasonably good shape, and you're slim. You don't have to get rid of
out a lot.
Yeah, you don't have to get rid of a layer
play
of
basketball all the time.
Yeah. You guys are there. Just need to add muscle. You don't have to get rid of the layer of fat like I do. You guys have to add muscle, and that's it.
Sandy, you sound like you're walking around at 3 bills or something.
I wear shirts that hide it very well. You'd be surprised what's under here.
It's all an illusion.
I think there's a lot more to a six-pack. I think it's extreme fitness.
All right. Well, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
So forget I ever said anything.
I don't know.
So eating a jar of peanut butter or jelly or whatever is not going to be doing it for us?
Yeah.
I don't know, Maggie, you're in really good shape, but...
I used to be. I'm not so much anymore.
So did you do a lot of ab workouts when you worked out a lot?
Yeah, I did, and I never got a six-pack. So I think if I couldn't do it then, I don't know if I could do it now.
Yeah, I'm not even close.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, Leonard Floyd, listen... Do I look like him with my shirt off? A little bit.
Sure.
In the sense I have 2 arms and a belly button. That's about it.
Do we also need to get the prescription on your glasses maybe tweaked just a little? All right, Leonard Floyd sides with the Bills. And you guys know I'm a big-time Buffalo Bills fan. I have been my entire life. And I am very happy from a team-building perspective that if there was some money to spend, and we're not exactly sure how much he's getting paid, that they put this money into Leonard Floyd as opposed to DeAndre Hopkins. Now, I don't know if Hopkins is still on the table for the Bills, but in terms of team building, I'm glad they are addressing more pass rush. Floyd, great outside linebacker. They gave Ed Oliver an extension over the weekend, a 5-year extension. He's a defensive tackle who was a top 10 draft pick for them. But I like this idea. Yeah. Put your resources on somebody getting to Patrick Mahomes and getting to Joe Burrow, because ultimately that's going to be the difference.
Yeah, no, that's pretty smart. I think you sound like more of a rational fan than the average fan who's like, add the skill position player, add the wide receiver. Yeah. I think the argument for Hopkins, though, is the thing I noticed, and correct me if I'm wrong, key games for the Bills, they had trouble getting a first down and controlling the sticks. Yep. And that's why they blew so many leads. I think DeAndre Hopkins can be a first down machine. So that'd be good. I mean, I know they drafted Dalton Kincaid to try and be that big slot guy who can do that. But that's one thing. A possession receiver might help Josh Allen sort of calm down and get more 10-yard plays instead of going for 40-yard plays.
Listen, I also think that's play calling, though. I don't know if that's necessarily personnel. After you go incomplete on 1st and 10, you don't have to dial up a 40-yard, down the field strike to Gabe Davis on 2nd and 10, and then all of a sudden you got to, hand the ball off on 3rd and 10, and then you're punting. You don't have to call that game.
Maybe if you have Hopkins, you'll be more inspired to do more of a mid-range passing game because they don't do much of it now.
No, they don't do almost any of it now.
Here's the other question. The Bills have been drafting all these defensive ends. Gregory Rousseau from Miami, Boogie Basham, AJ Espinosa, I believe. Epinesa, sorry. Is this an acknowledgement that they might have failed with those draft picks?
I think it's an acknowledgement, let's just say for Rousseau and for Basham, that, hey, it's year 3 and, got to see a little bit more from these guys. Now, granted, everyone's life gets a lot easier when Von Miller is healthy. So I think just save Von Miller, though. There should be no rush at all to bring him back. And maybe I'll regret saying that because the AFC East is now so stacked. They start off the season against the Jets. I mean, there's going to be very few easy games on the schedule. But I think you hold off on Von. Floyd is kind of a insurance policy here. And these guys have to step up. Look, they're just paid Ed Oliver. And they're showing everybody, if we drafted you and you play well, we're going to pay you. And I love when teams do that, but they got to earn it first. They have not. Yeah.
I don't know. It still feels like something's missing from this team. Part of it is, too,
winning.
I think the AFC East, I think everyone's a little more down on the Bills this year, which doesn't mean anything necessarily because the expectations were huge last year and nothing really happened. I do worry about everybody catching up to them, especially in that division.
Well, okay, here's the question. Are the Bills still, are they the number one threat to the Chiefs? I think definitely the Bengals have taken that mantle, right?
Yeah, they don't feel like it. Just eye test. No, it's the Bengals.
The Bengals are
but
definitely
the Bengals, though, the Bengals don't feel head and shoulders above everybody else. They feel like they're in the mix.
Well, I mean, they really kicked the Bills' ass in the playoffs, but
I feel like the Bengals could struggle with the Ravens next year, too. So you never know. That's what I mean. That's the other thing. The Bills, you talk about them as a threat to the Chiefs. What about the Jets and the Dolphins?
I think the Jets and the Dolphins, and I'll even add in the Patriots. I don't think – I know. This is always where you and I are going to differ because I have scar tissue over Belichick and you just don't.
I mean, they're going to be between 7 and 9 wins for the rest of eternity. There's no reason to worry about the Patriots.
It's okay. Did you see Mac Jones is winning back the trust of the building? But I do think
Aaron Rodgers seems like a much bigger problem to me.
Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, definitely the Dolphins, but obviously Tua's health. And then I think it is the Ravens, and I think it is the Browns, and I think the Steelers are, don't have losing seasons. And when are the Chargers going to put it together? So there's a lot of threats coming.
Yeah, see, I don't
feel... What about Denver this year? What if Russell and Peyton really have a great... Listen, if Russell and Peyton are going to be good together, I think it's year one where it's like, oh, man, gangbusters. They look excellent.
Yeah, I just don't think that the Bills last year felt like either one... but ahead of the Chiefs or 2, like clearly. I think I picked them to play the Niners in the Super Bowl. I was sure of it. Felt so good after the year before. So now they just feel like they're in the mix. They're in the big jumble of teams.
Yep, they might be. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. So that was just some of the over the weekend NFL stuff that was going on. Shockingly light on Rodgers news.
God. I mean...
I was like, man, we haven't heard from this guy in like 24 hours. Can someone go check on him? Do you have to FaceTime him or something? Go back into the darkness?
Oh, man. There was enough hype on him when he was in Green Bay. Now we have all New York around him. Okay. Does anyone else want to throttle Aaron Rodgers yet? Or is it just me? Sorry, Samter. I know your Jets are the team of the moment.
I'm a Jet fan. I still want to throttle him.
You guys, we haven't even gotten started yet. We're still in the appetizer phase of this Rodgers-Jets thing. Coming up.
That's true.
The one thing no one is talking about when it comes to last night's game, Miami and Denver. We'll get to it in just a moment. Maggie and Perloff, CBS Sports Radio, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie's been on vacation, and do you remember how headphones work, Maggie? I'm just curious
Apparently
here.
not.
Are you concussed right now? What just happened?
Oh, we caught on the live stream. Great. I'm like literally crying.
It looked like you were putting on your headphones and one flipped out your ear and hit you in the face. Are you okay?
No, my eyes are like tearing because I hit myself in the face with the headphones. We'll find it and we'll put it out on social media.
Is it going to be a situation where you're going to have a black eye tomorrow and everyone's going to think you're making up? I was trying to put on my headphones.
Yeah, right. That's a bad excuse. Like something's going on at home. No, everything's fine.
Luckily, we have it on the live stream, so we don't have to worry about it.
My eyes, it's pretty bad, right? Getting hit in the face with the headphones.
No.
I know.
Do you need some ice? Do you want us to run and get you some ice?
No, I don't want anything. I want to hear this Kawhi Leonard theory.
They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
I love reliving that moment over and over and over again. Welcome to Maggie and Perloff. So glad to have you. Hope you had a great weekend. Denver, a little surprising about, not that they lost the game, Perloff, although I guess that was shocking. Now the series is tied 1-1, but kind of how they lost it. So apparently Michael Malone, the coach of the Nuggets, went into the locker room after the game and kind of rhetorically asked, like, why did we lose that game? And it's sad and it's kind of sobering, I guess, when the reason you lost that game is because you frankly got out hustled in the game. You did. You were the ones who were making more of the mental errors. And listen, they tried a feverish comeback at the end, and it almost worked with a Jamal Murray three that was almost there to send the game into overtime, and who knows what would have happened then. But
But where they get out hustled, they got outshot. Miami hit 17 to 35 3-pointers, and they weren't wide open 3-pointers. So unless he's saying they weren't closing out on that, that's the only reason they won the game. Unless he's saying they weren't closing out on that, I think he's just trying to motivate them to wake up.
See, I do think there were defensive lapses. I do think that there were stupid fouls. I do think that they were concerned about the referees a little too much because they got some calls against them and then started chirping a little bit. I think all those things were things when the game gets away from you and you start backsliding a little bit, all that stuff happened to the Nuggets in the second half. Like, in the first half, they put together an incredible run in the second quarter to get back in the game and built a 15-point lead. And then to lose it like that in the way they lost it, I thought was concerning.
Well, I think it's a combination of things. I think they thought this team is not a challenge to us. They're tiny. Their star player has no confidence. We can leave him wide open, and he won't even take a shot. He could dribble into the lane. Talking about Jimmy Butler. Yeah. They had no fear of Jimmy Butler. They had no fear of Caleb Martin. I think they got cocky, and they were up 50 to 35, and then they just called off the dogs. So I think Mike Malone sensed that, and that's why he's going public with this. I think he wants to motivate them to say, hey, listen, you better play with urgency, or we're not going to beat this team, even though they're so much better than them on paper.
Let's listen to Barkley first, actually, because what Perloff was saying speaks exactly to what Charles Barkley said in the postgame on NBA TV.
Man, the Denver Nuggets, they got to realize this ain't a regular season game. There was at least 5 or 6 occasions where they doubled and left guys wide freaking open. And you know it sooner or later the Heat were going to start making shots.
And it's exactly what they did. And that's to your point, Perloff. I mean, Miami was not going to shoot as poorly as they did in game one. That would have been surprising. But they were excellent. They were nearly 50% from three. They were nearly 50% from the field. And I thought the hustle plays and all that extra stuff was definitely Miami, not Denver.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of real flaws with Denver, though. Obviously, Joker's amazing. Jamal Murray's amazing. Michael Porter Jr. is very hot and cold. Yeah. I kind of warned you about him that he might not step up in these big moments. So I think he hurt them last night. He
disappeared last night.
And Aaron Gordon is awesome. I don't understand why Aaron Gordon isn't putting up 30 points a game against Miami. I don't. He's great on defense, and he's really been a huge factor. But why couldn't they take advantage of that? I guess Kevin Love was in the game more. Feel like they need him to do a little more. And then KCP, it's the first time he's gotten cold all postseason. So to me, it's a matter of, here's a question for you, and we talked about this a little. If you take away the 2 stars on each team, Butler, Adebayo away from Miami, and Joker and Murray away from Denver, who's got the better role players 3 through 8?
We've been disrespecting Miami's role players, like not disrespecting, but everyone's like, how did this guy get here? And he wasn't drafted. Yeah. And he played Division II and da-da. I think I'd probably give the nod to Miami.
Okay.
So even though I think that Denver's role players are obviously great too, but I think I give the nod to Miami.
So that could mean that maybe Mike Malone's sensing, hey, they are closer than people think. If you're going to give them the nod, then Adebayo can at least partly neutralize Joker, and then obviously Jimmy can outplay Jamal Murray.
No, but I think that
but
Jokic is the greatest player of all time.
So you're saying,
it's no longer Jordan versus LeBron in the debate. It's now Jokic versus the field.
Well, yeah,
I mean, this is how we're talking about this guy now.
But he's not exactly a defensive force. Bam is having his way inside.
Bam was great yesterday.
Yeah, Bam feels a lot of confidence because there's no real defensive stopper at the back line of the Nuggets. That's one difference between Embiid and Joker, by the way. Embiid's amazing on defense. Joker is clearly not. Yeah. He's okay. But
hope that helps you sleep at night, Sixers fan.
No, I mean, listen, at this point, I think that argument is done. But my point, I think the bottom line is the Heat are actually a lot closer to the Nuggets talent-wise than I think a lot of people, including the Nuggets players, perceive. I think Mike Malone was trying to tell his team last night, hey, you got to wake up here.
Well, let's listen to some of that sound. Michael Malone, head coach of the Nuggets, concerned about the effort from his team.
Now, let's talk about effort. I mean, this is the NBA Finals, and we're talking about effort. That's a huge concern of mine. We had guys out there that were just, whether feeling sorry for themselves for not making shots or thinking they can just turn it on or off. This is not the preseason. This is not the regular season. It's not round. This is the NBA Finals. And that, to me, is really, really perplexing, disappointing.
I think we're learning a little bit about Mike Malone. Likes to talk to his team through the media because that is honesty. I mean, if he really feels that way, if he's trying to light a fire under their butts, I mean, generally coaches go a little more milquetoast than that.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right. I think he is trying to talk to the team. Obviously, when he said guys were putting their head down after they missing shots, that was MPJ. That was Michael Porter Jr. Stop playing defense. And talking about missing switches, that's totally him.
And his teammates are over there like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And he was lollygagging. I mean, he's 6'10". I don't really know that he's a perfect fit to be covering the three-point line like he is. So, regardless, though, I do think this is all going to work, too. I think Denver's going to show up with a lot of effort in Game 3.
Here's some more from Michael Malone about being outworked by the Heat.
And I asked the team, tell me why we lost. And they knew the answer. Miami came in here and outworked us, and we were by far our least disciplined game of these 16 or 17 playoff games, whatever it is now. So many breakdowns, and they exploited every one of those breakdowns and scored.
Yep. I mean, that was it. And listen, at the very end, like inside of, 2.5 minutes, the Heat were holding on for dear life. Like after, Murray came in and buried a couple threes, and it was like, oh boy, like here they go.
Yeah, Miami didn't score very much in the last 3 minutes at all.
They held on, and I think that by the fact that the Nuggets lost that game and Miami did hang on for the win, I think this has now woken something up in the Nuggets. I'm still Nuggets in 5. I mean, it's a selfish pick because if I get Nuggets in 5, that means I win our bet between you, me, Nick in Texas. Whoever correctly determines how many games the series will go does not have to eat the world's spiciest chicken nugget, boneless wing, whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
So selfishly, I want Nuggets in 5 because I want you guys to have to eat the spicy stuff, not me.
So I'm already out. I chose 4. I had choices between 4 games or 7 games. Do you think I should have picked 7 now? I mean, obviously I should have.
I guess.
It still feels like a tall mountain to get up for the 7-game series.
Was it a sobering moment for you last night?
No,
when
I knew I wasn't going to win that 4. There's no way.
You were a real gentleman. You let Nick in Texas choose second. I got to choose first. You let Nick choose second. He chose 6 games.
Yeah, and I don't even know.
Why'd you do that?
I think I wimped out and couldn't decide because I was leaning between Nuggets 5 or Nuggets 6. But now I feel 6 or 7. I still have the Nuggets, but your confidence in them going in 5 seems kind of crazy to me. Sorry.
If it goes 7 games, that means we're all eating the hot Nuggets.
I mean, do you really think that Denver can sweep in Miami?
Yeah, I do. I think
the rest is going to help the Heat. I think you're going to see a rejuvenated Heat team.
And maybe like at sea level.
Yeah, the fact that it's sea level, you take away
the humidity, like what killed Jalen Brunson.
I mean, it's a fine line. The Heat have to stay really hot from three-point line, but I don't know. They seem to figure a few things out enough to at least win another game.
855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. So we got kind of dual things going on. We got the Heat Nuggets bet, which I don't think we've really fully wrapped our head around how are we going to do a radio show and eat this ridiculously spicy thing. Because sometimes when you eat something spicy, it really takes over. You can't think about anything else. How are we going to do this?
So we have to do it.
How are you going to do this?
We have to do it on the radio show?
I think we have to do it on the show.
When was that spelled out?
I don't know. We kind of walked into this thing, without really laying out all the details. But I assume everything we do happens on the show.
It'd be good if you won the bet, then you could talk, and I would just sort of mumble incoherently into the mic.
Peanut butter challenge.
I'm a little nervous now. Is this going to be so debilitating that I'm going to not be able to speak?
I mean, I think so. I think it's going to be that hot.
I keep on asking this question. Can you actually get hurt from spicy food, injured, like have to go to the emergency room?
Samter, can you Google that? Okay, look that up. Has anyone gone to the emergency room over eating something really spicy?
I feel like I'll look it up. I feel like the most likely circumstances if you touch the thing and then put it in your hands near your eye.
Yeah.
Then you might go to the emergency room because you could blind yourself with some of these spicy things. But as far as
what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
everyone
really
knows
spicy
that,
peppers. Do not touch your eye, and don't even touch your mouth with the sauce, because then it gets on your lips and around your nose. It can go. You can breathe it in. It's really dangerous. Actually.
Wait, and I'm going to eat this stuff?
Yeah.
Well,
just do not touch your eyes. Wash your hands.
Don't touch my eyes or my lips.
Yeah. Well, touching your lips is more for pain. Your eyes could actually cause damage.
What are you talking about? What kind of wings are we talking about
here? I'm with Samter on this one. You got to keep your hands away from your eyes.
Yeah.
I am suddenly
But you
very
wear
nervous.
glasses, so that's okay because you got like a shield in between your eyeballs
I'm not
and your
eating a
eyes.
wing where I need safety goggles.
No, and honestly, any wing, like any spicy wing that has any peppers whatsoever, those oils, whatever, if you touch your eyes, you can significantly hurt your eyes.
Did we just watch this in succession? Can I do I'm not going to ruin anything, but the wasabi in the eye? No? Anyone? Okay.
I don't understand what you guys are talking about. I've been eating wings my whole life, and never once was I worried about my vision.
Have you ever touched your eyes with spicy wing fingers?
Also, are you eating atomic wings? You might just be eating regular, run-of-the-mill, mild wings.
Definitely eating regular wings.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, we're not talking about ghost peppers in your eye.
So wait, so if I go to a restaurant, Buffalo Wild Wings, I can order something dangerous enough to blind me?
You might.
I don't know specifically the
This is a pretty big
Scoville levels
corporation.
of
I
Buffalo
can't
Wild
really
Wings.
picture this.
Well, so like for example, my wife's nephew got ghost peppers. He gave me a ghost pepper, but on the packaging it says like only touch with gloves, do not touch with your actual fingers.
Yeah,
It
you
was
know
a
those
dried ghost
disclaimers.
pepper.
I don't think those disclaimers actually hold up in court.
Wait, but by the way, what are you doing with this ghost pepper? You're going to cook with it?
He gave me all these recipes. I'm going to try to make some sort of a spicy salsa, but I don't think
And
I'm.
you sound real enthused
What's
about
no,
it.
I want to try it, but I'm not confident that I'm going to make something that won't kill me.
This is insane because
Perloff, you knew what you were signing up for.
no, but okay.
All of us did.
I understand that, but I don't see people walking around like, oh yeah, my brother-in-law died from a ghost pepper.
No,
this has never
good
happened.
grief. No, that's not going to happen.
Or
but I'm
like
sure
somebody
people
with
have...
somebody wearing dark sunglasses, like, well, what? Oh, I'm sorry to know your cousin was blind. No, he just ate a ghost pepper. That's just not how it works.
It might.
It's not.
I think everyone's just super careful. You know, just put on some rubber gloves, and then you'll be good.
No, this is first of all, Miss. I have 5 games. Don't be so cocky. This could be you too.
I know. I'm sweating already. I haven't even
And
eaten
you
anything
guys on the
yet.
other side of the glass, you guys know if it goes 7 games, we're all eating these peppers.
I know. Then who's going to do the show?
Yeah, it's going to be problematic. It's going to be Ackerman and Gelb doing the show.
It's like you guys got it from here, right? Well,
With Hickey running the board with my, saucy fingers.
as we're bleeding out of our eyes.
What if you get ghost pepper on the board, and
Damn
then
heat.
the later show actually touches the board, and the entire CBS Sports Radio staff is blinded?
Yeah, that's not going to be
that
great.
would happen to us. It's like everyone's out because someone had a ghost pepper.
And then, of course, we're going to have a management problem, too. Is the last thing we needed after the peanut butter challenge to
know.
get management involved again.
I know.
This is great. Good job, guys.
Listen,
Maybe
this-
there's something
this is
below
what
a ghost pepper for this bet?
We're sneaking this one under the radar. Shh. Nobody tell Spike, and then we're going to be fine.
Okay. Are you guys messing with me?
This is like a beg forgiveness, don't ask permission.
Are you guys are messing with me about these? I'm being totally serious here. Okay, forget we're on the show right now. It's just the 4 of us talking.
Yes.
They really are not. Spicy wings are not that dangerous, are they?
I think we said the world's hottest.
Yeah,
or thereabouts.
Yeah, I mean,
Wait,
there
we
are
did?
Scoville level peppers that could cause serious.
Wait, did you
damage.
Google? Has anyone gone to the hospital over this?
I Googled more, can you go blind from having pepper in your eye? And there are articles that confirm it, but I don't know how legitimate
There's
those
also
articles
not a pepper called the Carolina Reaper. Somebody just made that up to scare me, right?
No, that was not somebody. It was Dave Marinick.
Yeah, I thought he was joking around. There's not something really called the Carolina Reaper because that nickname is so cool. We should name
It
a
is.
defensive end on the
2.2
Panthers.
million Scovilles.
Honestly, it is a really cool nickname.
I don't even believe
Slim
this
Reaper.
Scoville thing. I've never even heard that until the other day. There's something called Scovilles?
Yeah, that is a thing. I had not heard of it until the other day too, but it's a thing.
So on the Scoville heat scale, 15 million Scovilles is pure capsicum, which I guess is like the hottest, is like the pure essence of the pepper. 5.3 million Scovilles is pepper spray, and the Carolina Reaper is 2.2 million Scovilles. So like just under pepper spray is the Carolina Reaper pepper. So no, thank you.
And what's the point of growing these? Why does he grow them?
I think because people like spicy food.
Yeah. Okay, you can't get something.
And you can blind somebody who's a potential attacker. You can thwart an attack.
Yeah. Whatever happened to jalapeno peppers?
Jalapenos are 8,000 Scovilles compared to 2.2 million for the Carolina Reaper.
RP Carson in the chat, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radios. Perloff will be in a hazmat suit with a mouth hatch. I mean, that's the way this thing is going. You're going to look like you're out of a Stephen King novel.
Can I double or nothing somehow here and get out of this?
Wow. How are you going to double or nothing?
I don't know.
Also, do you want double?
Not really. I was hoping for the nothing.
Wow, you're a confident guy. 855-2124-CBS. Anthony is in Myrtle Beach. Anthony, you once got a pepper in your eye?
Yeah, I was playing with a jalapeno in the kitchen, and I rubbed my face because I was sweating, and I almost damn near went blind.
Oh, my goodness. Did you have to go to the hospital?
No, I took about a 3-hour break, and my vision wasn't right. My face was all red and swollen, and I was messed up for about a day and a half. But
oh my gosh,
what did you do, Anthony? How did you treat it? What did you do? Just like cold water compresses?
I don't remember how I really treated it. There's nothing you can do. The more you wet it, the more you're making it of an irritant.
Oh.
I put like a cold bag of peas on it to kind of help the swelling, but it was so close to my eye ducts that it was just swelling and burning. I couldn't see out of it. It looked like I got slapped in the face with like a hornet's nest.
Oh my gosh. That is wild. Well, Anthony, you're fine now though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Carolina Reaper is definitely a real thing. I mean, Perloff, you would notice if you weren't from Philly stuffing your face with cheesesteaks your whole life.
Oh, that was a little editorializing at the end. I love it, Anthony.
You know why? You know
look
why?
up from your cheesesteak for a moment. Maybe you know his whole big world out there.
You know why we love cheesesteaks? 2 reasons. They're delicious, and there's no risk of going blind from eating them. There's no risk at all.
I don't know. I'm sure somebody's
what kind of cheesesteaks you're eating.
put a Pats or a Geno's in someone's face at some point.
There's cardiovascular failure. I mean, of course, you'll die if you eat too many, but at least you'll be happy. I don't understand why we're doing this. I don't understand it.
We're doing it because it's called steaks. We thought
the
nuggets
steaks would be great too, but no, we have to do spicy nuggets.
Yeah, I'll eat a steak. Oh, yeah, other kind of steak.
No, the other steaks.
I am reading a story from Cooperstown, New York, where a 34-year-old man had a pepper eating contest, including eating an entire Carolina Reaper pepper, which led to something called a thunderclap headache that was so severe it sent him to the ER. So, yes, peppers can send you to the hospital.
If I get a thunderclap headache, I'm going to be really upset.
But maybe it's like quick, it's like a thunderclap, and then the storm moves on.
Oh, now you're just making up types of headaches. This is spiraling out of control. This is spiraling out of control.
Thunder. Severe headaches, which peaks within 60 seconds. They're uncommon, but they can warn of potentially life-threatening conditions.
Oh, wow.
So this person had a life-threatening condition from a Reaper pepper.
Listen, what Anthony was describing might not have been life-threatening, but that didn't sound like a walk in the park. And that was a jalapeno, which is like only, 5,000 on the Scovilles?
8,000.
Whatever.
Compared to 2 million. That's interesting because a gigantic company like Buffalo Wild Wings actually risks blinding people with their
Well, we
wings?
haven't officially said it's the Buffalo Wild Wing sauce. That was just floated out as an option.
And I love the genesis of all this for people who don't know. Nick in Texas, who is a loyal listener, suggests show bets on big series. Said, it's the Denver Nuggets and it's the Heat. Let's have spicy nuggets, which somehow quickly evolved into spicy wings. It doesn't even make sense.
Spicy something.
It doesn't even really make sense as an origin story.
Spicy nuggets make sense. Nuggets.
But is that way like, wow, I would have some spicy nuggets. I don't think anyone orders that.
They're going to on this show at some point when the finals are over, whenever that may be. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. All right, life after Aaron Rodgers. Apparently not all that bad. We'll get to the latest out of Green Bay in just a moment. You're listening to Maggie and Perloff, CBS Sports Radio. We're also streaming on the absolutely free and crystal clear Odyssey app. We're on Sirius XM channel 158 and youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. We are discussing the dangers of eating spicy wings, which I thought was going to be a fun little experiment we were going to do, and now I'm thinking about hiring an attorney to get out of this
No.
finals bet, which I already lost because we all picked how many games this series was going to go. I picked 4. Maggie has 5. Nick in Texas has 6. We all eat spicy wings at 7.
Wait, there's spicy nuggets, though. That's what made it heat nuggets.
Right, but I don't know.
But then we got in a whole brouhaha about a nugget versus
Yeah,
a
if we're going to
boneless
Buffalo
wing.
Wild Wings, they don't have nuggets at Buffalo Wild Wings.
And we were just going to buy the sauce, I think.
No.
Also, we're giving a lot of free credit to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, we can go to Trader Joe's and get their nuggets and just get sauce.
We have not picked a sauce yet.
Wait. So, time out here. We're going to eat wings or nuggets, so we're going to just buy like normal nuggets and dip them in a sauce?
That's what I thought we were doing.
I think people have been sending us, I think we switch over to wings because, we write the rules. We could do wings.
Okay, fine.
And we go to Buffalo Wild Wings and get the spiciest wing they have. They have atomic wings.
Okay, but I thought we had to do nuggets because the Denver Nuggets are in the final.
Yeah, the Detroit Red Wings aren't in the Stanley Cup Finals, and we're not betting on them either. This is the Nuggets. I feel like we have to keep it consistent, no?
Okay, so we're just going to buy nuggets and dip them in a sauce.
I mean, we can like marinate them in a sauce. Maybe overnight.
It's not a
We're
thing.
not
You're
making.
right.
First
You're
of all,
right. That's not a thing.
Let me make it clear: we're not making our own nuggets. Nobody knows how to do that. You need an entire factory.
I don't want to know what's in a nugget. We've already gone over this with Mike in California. I don't want the scraps of whatever. I don't want to know what's in a nugget.
Okay. All right, fine. I think the audience needs to help us out with this. The best way to do a spicy nugget challenge.
Okay.
Because we could just do boneless wings too, which are nuggets.
Right. Are not.
They are nuggets.
Don't start that again.
Oh boy.
You're going to get the
They're
whole
literally the same
Sean
exact
Morash
thing.
and the entire nugget.
Mike in
versus
California broke it down for us.
He said one is like the scraps of the chicken and the other is a boneless wing.
That was totally a lie. I've eaten many boneless wings, and you're telling me that's wing meat? That's just a lie. That's just random chicken meat.
Random chicken meat is not
It's not
something
like
I want to hear on this show.
You see the boneless chicken wing. Does it look like they took a wing and pulled out the bones, and that's what you have left? No.
That's what I always thought it was.
Well,
Don't
it's
ruin
definitely
it.
not. It's just like, and how did they explain why they're offered white meat?
I don't know.
Because
All I know is I hope it's nuggets and five.
A boneless chicken wing is a nugget.
You're making me think too much about the damn chicken, but here's the thing. If it's nuggets and five, I know that I don't have to eat it.
And by the way, the wing is the worst part of the chicken anyway, so is it any better to be a boneless wing than a chicken nugget? Oh, get out of here.
I love a wing, though.
Yeah, but...
I mean, I've been groomed to love wings more than anyone. I'm from upstate New York.
Right, but if you put in breast meat and the really good stuff, then you could create a better chicken nugget than a boneless wing.
I'll take your word for it.
I've done the math.
Yeah, apparently, you have halved and quartered this chicken
I'm
every
just
single
desperately
way.
trying to get out of this bet because
See, that's what it is.
I'm afraid of spicy foods.
You're trying to get out of it.
I'd like at least to buy somebody who has like a legal department and would not make a wing that was so spicy that would actually blind somebody. That's all I want out of this.
Well, there's no promises. We might go to a chain or we might not. We have to leave all options on the table.
What? Who made you the wings are?
I'm the committee.
No, first of all, Nick thought of it.
Yeah, actually, Nick's really the committee. I'm taking the torch from Nick. I'm just trying to give this thing a little structure.
Oh, God.
I know. Leave it to me. Okay. How about the phones? 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Listen, if the Heat keep playing this way, then maybe we get a 7-game series, and then we're all in big trouble. And you know what they say? Misery loves company.
Yeah, I want to see Samter and Stu go down. That'd be fun.
Samter loves spicy food, though. This is going to be a treat for him.
Yeah, I do, too.
And so does Stu. So they're begging for it. Let's go to our pal Ryan in Santa Barbara. Ryan, how you doing, sir?
What's going on, guys? Happy Monday. If it goes to Game 7, does it change from the wings to that ghost pepper? Because if that's the case, you're in big trouble. I have a story. I was with some friends at a restaurant called the Brew House here in Santa Barbara on a Wednesday all-you-can-eat rib night. And they had on their menu a ghost pepper challenge. You got it's like a ghost pepper popper. What do they fill that with, like cream cheese or whatever they fill that thing with?
Yeah.
And this guy eats a cup, literally croaks. His throat swells up like he looks like a bullfrog. His eyes are gone. He can't breathe. The ambulance has to come pick him up.
Wait a minute, the ambulance came?
The ambulance. This guy had to be rushed to the hospital. I would not even come close to touching those ghost peppers.
Wait. So Ryan, well, I'm sorry that happened. That was probably really weird to see, and I hope this guy made it. But to Perloff's point, you're wondering, these restaurants, they know what they're doing. They wouldn't send anyone to the hospital. They don't. Sometimes they just have ghost peppers on the menu, and people almost die.
Okay, so this thing about your throat swelling up, are we gonna have somebody with an EpiPen present?
See, I was trying to slide this thing past management, you know? I've already got my hands full with the Carson Wentz poster and all of the ways that I'm hoping to destroy this thing.
Do we need a defibrillator? I can't say defibrillator.
We should probably just have one of those on hand anyway around here.
Just for the record, back in March, somebody in Chicago sued Buffalo Wild Wings for false advertisement on their boneless wings, saying that they're falsely advertising them as being boneless wings, when really they're just like chicken nuggets.
That's called everyone. I mean, my 11-year-old daughter knows that. If you've ever had a boneless nugget or boneless wing, it's just a chicken nugget.
But one of the responses is boneless wings are made of whole chunks of breast meat, whereas chicken nuggets are almost always made of ground meat. So therefore, there is a difference between the two.
Who defined that it's whole chunks of breast meat? Since when?
This is part of one of the responses from somebody associated with the lawsuit.
Wait a minute. So did the guy win the lawsuit, or is it still
happened
pending?
in March, so it seems like it's still happening.
If you're Buffalo Wild Wings, you have to be like, of all the dumb stuff in the world.
Well, they had the perfect tweet in response. They said, "It's true. Our hamburgers contain no ham. Our buffalo wings are 0% buffalo, and our boneless wings are not actually wings." So,
yeah,
pretty impressive.
Checkmate.
Yeah.
I just say right now that case is going to the Supreme Court. Just be ready.
Oh, my gosh. I don't even know if I trust the Supreme Court with that one, quite frankly. Phil is in Pennsylvania. Phil, how you doing?
I'm doing good. You guys, how you guys doing?
We're doing great. What do you have?
I am going to buy some Popeyes nuggets, and I already bought ghost pepper sauce. I wonder if I can just slather in that and eat it, and that will,
Phil,
be okay.
We cannot be responsible. I did have to talk about this. We said yesterday that, or last week, when it was whatever today is, if anyone wants to join us in the challenge, I have to officially retract that statement. You cannot join us in the challenge. If you decide to eat them on your own, you of your own free will, but it is not part of the Maggie and Perloff show at all.
Video it, and I will send you guys the video. Is that okay?
No, Phil, I don't want. No, please, I don't want anything bad to happen to you, man. It would. We'd never live it down.
Worst case scenario, I won't be able to talk for a week.
I know that's not good. Your friends and family are going to blame us. They're not going to like that. I beg of you.
No, they'll be happy to have me be quiet.
All right, Phil. You are a man of your own free will, but it can't be associated with the Maggie and Perloff show, or else we might seriously get taken off the air.
All right, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Phil. Talk soon, pal.
I'm having a little bit of a nervous breakdown right now.
Oh, no.
People are tweeting me some terrible things. So, wait, I don't understand. My whole life I don't eat a lot of spicy foods, but I didn't think they were dangerous. Now everyone is sharing horror stories.
I know. Well, you're going to have to think about that.
Well, you are too, Maggie. So are you great with spicy foods?
No, I still think the Nuggets have a chance here.
They have a chance, but okay.
This is their wake-up call in game 2.
The second the Heat win another game, you're out too.
Then I'm out. Yep.
Nick lives in Texas. He's used to this. That's a Tuesday to eat spicy wings. Yeah, this is not good. This is all really, really bad.
I know. I hope Jeffrey Howell says this is now known as the disclaimer challenge. 100%. Every disclaimer possible. Uh-oh.
People are also telling me, by the way, that after you eat these wings, be very careful if you go to the restroom.
Yeah, I think it's fire coming out the other end, too.
Well, no, they say that, for men to go to the bathroom, you have to use your hands. That can be a very uncomfortable situation.
Oh, gosh. Wait, is regular soap going to be able to negate the spice?
I sure hope so, because it'd be bad enough for my throat to swell up. I don't want anything down there swelling up. Not for this.
Maybe you do. I don't know.
Imagine the soap that we have in our bathrooms here.
Yeah, we're going to have to buy some.
Something real.
Yeah. By the way, in our men's bathroom here, everyone here knows all the men know what I'm talking about. There's rarely any soap in the bathroom.
Yeah, there's never soap.
There's never soap.
It's like
there's like this automatic soap dispenser where you put your hand under it and it never ever works.
Okay, so newsflash, it's the same in the ladies' room. It's the same. Yeah.
What happened to good old fashioned just soap? Now it has to be some fancy automatic dispenser that's never filled.
Well, and it's like they're rationing it out for you, and so it's just like the littlest bit.
Yes.
I have to put my hand under there like 16 times. That's why there's no soap, because everyone has to keep putting their hand under to get more and more and more.
Once again, technology fails us.
I know. Can't we just get our own soap back?
And this is not going to cut the mustard for the spicy wing challenge. We're going to need real soap. This is all shaping up to be really bad.
I think we need one of those. Remember, like in like a lab, they have like a splash thing in case you get anything in your eyes.
Yeah. Yes.
Like when you do like chemistry class.
I like where you're headed. Yeah, an emergency eye wash.
Right, that's what it's called.
Eye wash station.
And Perloff in the hazmat suit, I feel like, is a real thing.
I was just informed of a story that is just driving me crazy. I'm trying to find out what happened to the guy. Yeah. But Bob in Myrtle Beach called in and said that somebody actually put a ghost pepper into a bong and smoked it. And there's video of this guy doing it. Ted, fire-breathing idiot Barris, did this back in 2018. I'm trying to find out if he's still alive.
I got a tweet, by the way.
Wait, so where he put the pepper in the bong and put the pot in the pepper?
No, he put the pepper where the pot would go.
Yeah.
And he just lit the pepper.
Just lit the pepper on fire. So there's no pot in any of this.
Yeah, the video, he looks like he's having a really hard time afterwards, but that sounds awful.
Well, that's just poisoning yourself.
Yeah. It's basically like inhaling pepper spray. Smart move.
How much weed did he smoke before he had this brilliant idea?
I thought how much weed could Woodchuck chocolate?
I mean, he must have been high as a kite to even come up with this idea. Yes, I'm sorry.
All right, I got advice from Sean on Twitter on how to do this. Number one, he has 5 steps. Number one, put on nitrile gloves, which are these heavy-duty plastic gloves. 2, eat wing of death. 3, touch no part of your body you don't want to be in searing pain. 4, dispose of gloves immediately. 5, try not to die.
I mean, you'll do your best.
Yeah,
what is going on here?
According to the Pucker Pepper Company, you have to wear gloves when you handle a ghost pepper. Not a ghost pepper, the Carolina Reaper.
You know what the weirdest and worst part about this whole thing is that it's happening no matter what. Like,
just a matter of who.
It's just a matter of who. It's like we're playing some kind of like pepper roulette. Like, there's no ending it. Or there's no getting out of it. Like, the finals are going to end.
And
at
the reality
some point,
is
someone's going to win.
No matter what, Perloff is in.
He's out.
He's already eating the pepper.
Right.
Whether he's eating it with us or by himself, he's eating it.
Eating the pepper. Now it's like I have to eat straight
eating
pepper.
The sauce.
The hot nugget. The hot nugget. Heat nuggets. I know the reality of this is really setting in on the show. Perloff is gone. We lost him. Okay. We did have some news out of Green Bay. So suddenly doesn't feel as urgent as Perloff potentially losing his vision if he touches his face with a wing. We'll get to that. Everything out of Green Bay. We got that for you. We've got some more NFL news to get to. You going to be all right?
No, and I can't wait. I'm praying that the Heat win another game, and you have to do this with me.
I know. Now you really want to take everyone else down with you. We get to a whole lot more after this CBS Sports Update with Emmanuel Berbari.
Sports Flash.
Guys, you can shake up dinner time with HelloFresh with 40 weekly recipe options. There's always something new to try. Get 16 free meals plus free shipping with code SKATE16 at HelloFresh.com/skate16. Kyrie Irving will be a free agent, but if he's back in Dallas, apparently wants to join forces with LeBron James again. Irving reportedly reached out to LeBron to see if he'd join the Mavericks this offseason. Still uncertain, though, Kyrie will be back in Dallas. For Gabe Vincent and the Heat, now tied at a game apiece, it's a brand new series.
I speak for my whole team when I say we don't give a damn. We just want to get 4 wins. We don't give a damn about none of the other stuff.
That courtesy of NBA TV. Heat were potentially looking at a 2-0 hole, but rallied in the 4th in Denver. Series tied at 1. Game 3 of the NBA Finals Wednesday night in Miami. Stanley Cup Final, Golden Knights a 1-0 series lead over the Panthers can stretch it to 2-0 at home. Game 2 tonight in Vegas, the Golden Knights and the Panthers. Baseball underway. Rays and Red Sox. Rays are looking to win the last 3 games of the series and take 3 of 4 at Fenway Park. Scoreless game, top of the 3rd. Shane McClanahan on the bump for the Rays. I'm Emmanuel Berbari.
Looking for CBS Sports Radio online? Your favorite hosts and the best sports content and entertainment are available 24/7 on social media and YouTube and in the palm of your hand with the free Odyssey app.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. Hey, if you ever miss any part of the show, you can always download the Maggie and Perloff podcast, where we have started something new called the Maggie and Perloff Extra Shot. Every day, Perloff and I are doing podcast-only segments where we do things that are kind of tangentially based on the news a little bit more, sports debatey type things.
Yeah, a little more list-oriented.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, and one of us presents, the other just shreds the other's list.
So if we take turns every other day, someone presents something. So, for example, today mine was 5 places I think the NBA cities they should expand to.
Yeah.
Because Adam Silver was asked about that. So that's called the Maggie and Perloff Extra Shot. What are the other things that we've done? You did 5 people who will make the Hall of Fame that will make me angry.
Yes. We'll make everybody angry.
Right. Sorry, everybody angry, including me. And spoiler alert, it did make me angry.
Pro Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Because, the problem is everybody makes a Pro Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So if you play basketball, especially internationally, you're in. What are one of the other ones you did?
I did people who are under the most pressure in sports to win a title right now, throughout all of sports.
Yeah,
coaches.
you made Josh Allen number 1.
Hey, don't give it away. I mean,
it's on the podcast feed.
That's a tease.
That's a tease.
Well, I'm just saying, it's weird that a Bills fan made Josh Allen number 1.
Well, I mean, prove me wrong. I guess the other person who did not make the list on the Maggie and Perloff Extra Shot, but now that I think about it, he really is under a lot of pressure. Maybe not to win a title, though, but he is under a lot of pressure, and obviously that's Jordan Love. So Romeo Doubs is at Packers OTAs. Was this yesterday? This was from Spectrum News 1 in Wisconsin, where he said, quote, "I think Jordan is a really good quarterback. When you go from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan, Aaron was a really great quarterback, but I believe Jordan can do the exact same thing. So I don't really see what's the big difference." And if that's actually true, then Romeo Doubs probably needs to have his head examined. But
I disagree with that.
I can't tell if... Sorry, go ahead.
Dobbs was a rookie last year. Rodgers was nothing special.
No, but I am assuming that Romeo Doubs has watched football before he got to the Packers.
Oh, come on. That's not the case. These guys have no idea what they're coming. They've never watched football.
You don't think Romeo Doubs, a wide receiver, had ever heard of Aaron Rodgers?
I don't think he'd sat and watched an Aaron Rodgers game. No, I don't. I think it's always shocking to me these college kids do not watch NFL football. They don't care.
Okay, but you don't think that he would be, as an aspiring professional football player, that he would be generally aware of Aaron Rodgers' greatness?
He knows the reputation, but no, I don't think he watched Aaron Rodgers until he got there. And last year, Aaron Rodgers threw 26 touchdowns and 12 picks. It was generally average, so he probably played with Jordan Love, who wasn't injured. Rodgers was hurt all last year. Yeah. He probably played with Love on the practice squad and said, man, the ball's coming out a lot faster with Love, because Rodgers was sort of half speed probably.
Okay, but that's not giving Romeo Doubs a lot of credit here, because, I mean, I think the question is he helping or is he hurting his teammate with statements like this? Because he probably isn't trying to do anything. If anything, he's trying to be positive and saying, hey, it's just like Aaron.
Right.
He's going to be fine. But this might have another tentacle to it, where people are now expecting, and people I think already had an expectation, that Jordan Love is going to come in and it's going to be from Favre to Rodgers to the next great thing. And here comes Green Bay. Voila, here's 40 years of uninterrupted stellar quarterback play. And that's not realistic.
Well, I totally understand what you're saying. But I'm not sure that a 23-year-old receiver, especially a kind of a soft-spoken one like Romeo Doubs, 4th-round pick, I'm not sure that in the national sense of things puts a lot more pressure on Jordan Love. I mean, do we really care what Romeo Doubs thinks?
No, but I think that it all just is part of the sauce.
Yeah.
It's part of the stew, if you will. It's like Jordan Love, the team, and Aaron Rodgers has been out there basically every microphone and newspaper reporter you can find to say they wanted to move on from me. I still wanted to be there until I didn't. And they wanted to move on from me because they want Jordan Love to be the next thing.
Yeah.
So that in and of itself creates a ton of pressure for the kid and for the young man. And now it's like you have a teammate being like, I don't see the difference between a surefire Hall of Famer and a 4-time MVP and his backup.
I guess so. I think I think you're
it's
right.
Like unintended consequence of
but
this
I mean,
statement.
does anyone? I think Romeo Doubs is trying to get out of that interview and say the right thing. I think he thinks he's saying the right thing. Right, like it's sort of an obligatory answer, and I think all the Packers are going to say that. Hey, we believe Jordan Love can be great. Isn't that what you have to say as a teammate?
Well, David Bakhtiari was like, we're in a rebuild because we're going from Aaron Rodgers to a young quarterback. He said it would be disrespectful to Rodgers to just say, oh, Love's going to come in and he's going to be great.
Right, but David Bakhtiari's on the tail end. Like, he's confident enough where he can say what he thinks. A young receiver is just trying to get through that question and not get yelled at by his position coach. I think, we spoke to Romeo Doubs. Listen, he is holding stuff. Well, he did think about Rodgers not going out with him.
Romeo Doubs is responsible for the most widely viewed clip ever on the Maggie and Perloff show. When we asked him a very innocent question about name a time when you hung out with Aaron Rodgers outside of the facility, and he said, I never did.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers went on Pat McAfee and said, I had perfect attendance in all team functions.
But do you think that Romeo Doubs really believes this? Because I think he does. So Jordan Love, I think when he got in the game last year, had nice chemistry with these young receivers because Rodgers didn't know them at all, but Love had been spending a lot of practice time with them.
Sure.
And they know him from practice. They don't know what he's like. Jordan Love's got a cannon. He really throws a beautiful pass. So Romeo Doubs probably thinks this guy's awesome because he's never really seen him go through a season.
I guess, what are the odds? We talked to our pal Aaron Nagler, who's the founder of Cheesehead TV, so massive fan. He said playoffs are the expectation in Green Bay. Now, Aaron Rodgers didn't make the playoffs his first year as a full-time starter.
Right, but
playoffs, is that realistic for the Green Bay Packers?
I would say the win total is 8.5, I would imagine. And I think if you're 8.5, it's a coin toss whether you win that division because you probably win it with 9 games, 10 games, unless the Lions are a real juggernaut.
Well, the Vikings won the division last year and won. What didn't they win? 12 or 13 games?
They won 13 games,
yeah,
but
13.
but that was, that ain't happening again. I think this division's pretty weak. I think
that might help them. No,
I think this division, I think 9 or 10 games wins you this division this year. I think that's what he's,
you could see Minnesota rattling off another really great regular season. Why not? They basically have the entire cast back.
I don't know. Vegas has
outside of Dalvin Cook, which they apparently can't decide if they want to keep him or cut him. Just make a decision already.
Really? Vegas has them a distant second in the division to the Lions.
Well, that's because everyone loves the Lions. They're playing the public on that.
No, I think because the Vikings, the Vikings had a good record, but it was very thin.
Yeah. They lost at home in the playoffs to the Giants.
They lost at home in the playoffs, but also, DVOA and all those advanced stats, they were bottom 5 in the league. They were not a good team last year. They just happened to get some easy wins. Do you think that I've heard nobody say anything about the Vikings. I think everybody expects them to have a major fall.
We didn't say anything about the Vikings last year either, and they end up winning the division. I just think everyone's so on the Lions right now because, the world has Lions fever a little bit.
I think the Vikings and the Packers are real close.
Coming up, got to hear the reason why the Nuggets dropped Game 2 unequivocally. We'll tell you what they said. Don't move. More Maggie and Perloff, CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Howell in the chat says, got a little advice for me. Maggie, for your 40-yard dash at next year's draft, have someone attach a bag of gummies to a stick like they do at a dog track. See, that implies that I needed some kind of motivation. The motivation was to not embarrass myself, which I'm pretty sure I did. I had like a Fred Flintstone kind of wind up where I was like, like my feet were going and then I took off.
Yeah.
Like
you were
fast feet.
Next year, maybe can we get you a coach or something? Somebody tell you how to get out of the blocks.
How about just like a pair of shorts? Yeah,
Some sneakers, maybe.
I gotta plan a little better for this thing.
The upright running style, you have so much wind resistance.
I told you, I'm taller than people think, so that's a whole 5'8". I'm like a parachute out there.
They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
Big comeback by the Miami Heat last night. They evened the series 1-1 in the NBA Finals. They out-hustled the Nuggets. They fought off a fury at the end of the game. Jamal Murray almost tied it and sent it to overtime in the final seconds, but Heat culture wins out. Heat desperation, quite frankly.
Culture or three-point shooting?
Yeah, a little bit of that too. And maybe taking advantage of some mental lapses from the Nuggets role players. You know, the idea that you can just force Nikola Jokic to just be a scorer, get into the passing lanes. He only had 4 assists last night, had more turnovers than assists, which is very rare for Jokic. And that's kind of what teams try to do. Like, if you look at his playoff box scores, the times when he scores 41 like he did last night, or 53 like he did in game 4 against Phoenix, or, game 4 against Minnesota where he had 43. Those are losses by the Nuggets. Now, Spoelstra bristled a bit at the idea that if you just turn Jokic into a scorer, then you're going to be okay.
This is probably oversimplifying things, but sometimes when teams play against Jokic, you turn him into a scorer, you turn him into a passer, and he controls the game. He only had 4 assists tonight.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's just, that's the untrained eye that says something like that.
Well, I mean, it's also Jeff Van Gundy. It's also ex-players who tell us that to try to make him one-dimensional or two-dimensional, I guess, because he can pass and he can still, rebound, I guess. But
by the way, his passing was actually not bad at all last night.
It was still pretty good.
Yeah, guys were missing the shots after. You got to hit the three-pointer. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, last night, that kind of Joker who could just throw up anything and goes in, it seems like you could win a lot of games with that 41-point-a-game Joker. I don't know. I understand the idea that what happens is I think everybody sits around and they're afraid to shoot because like, why am I going to take a shot when this guy cannot miss a shot? He's unstoppable from three-point range anywhere. So I think they lose their confidence when he plays that well. But you know what, though? This idea of Joker just passing around and Bruce Brown of the world to beat the Heat, I don't know if I buy that either.
No, obviously they need him to score a lot, but it's just the idea that, Jokic always makes the right basketball move, right? That's the thing on him. That's why he's the genius. That's why he's the best player to ever play. That's why he makes his teammates better, all that stuff, because he always makes the right play. So if you are basically giving him, scoring opportunities, he's always going to take it. It's like he can't go against what the defense is giving him because it's like he's not wired that way.
There was some funny plays last night where I felt like they were laying off Joker in a big way.
Yeah.
Like, basically, he would set a pick, and both guys would follow the guy with the ball in his hand and leave Joker just standing there. And it's almost like Denver didn't know what to do because they were making it so easy for Joker.
Yeah.
So maybe there was something there where he got him out of the rhythm. And then you get switches that are ridiculous with the Heat, where all of a sudden Gabe Vincent is covering Jokic. It happens all the time, and these big guys, I'm 6'4", and I played a lot of basketball. When a 5'10" guy gets on me, I have no idea what to do. I think Joker is sometimes fooled by these odd matchups that the Heat throw at him.
Well, the question for you is, do you know what to do when another 6'4" guy's on you?
It's the best. I love having a tall guy cover me is the greatest. Like Steph Curry, when somebody tall checks in him, that's the only person that you're faster than. So you like having taller guys because they're slow. The key to defense is speed. And Joker, I think, loves having like a DeAndre Ayton. He can do whatever he wants to him. I think this small team is confusing him a little bit.
So that's what's going on in the NBA with the series knotted up at 1. Game 3 is Wednesday? Yes, Wednesday in Miami. Okay, another big story is coming to us from the NFL, and the details on this are still trickling out. And unfortunately, Perloff, this is one that has become a bit more common. And it's players gambling. So right now, this is according to sportshandle.com, that the NFL is investigating pervasive wagering by a member of the Indianapolis Colts. Now, they're not saying which player it was, only to say that that if you are an ardent NFL fan, is how they put it, then you will know who this player is, and the player has not been cut. So that leads me to believe, Perloff, that either they can't cut him during the investigation or this player is good enough that they don't want to cut him. Like when Jamison Williams of the Detroit Lions got caught for gambling, there was no chance the Lions were going to cut him, and he's now going to be suspended for 6 games. Now, there's a little bit of a difference, at least with the details we have now. Jamison Williams basically said, I had no idea what the policy was, and he got dinged because he was placing bets online from the facility on college football, right? That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
This person apparently tried to go a little bit further in covering their tracks. It wasn't from their own betting account. It was from an account set up by an acquaintance, according to these details. And it was hundreds of bets, and including bets on his own team.
Right. Did they say if it's for his team to win or for his team to lose? Because I think that's a big distinction. It's kind of the Pete Rose thing.
Yeah.
Where if he bet against his own team, then that implies that he was throwing the game to some degree.
I know, but the problem is, even if you bet on your own team to win, I know it's maybe not as bad. It's still bad, though, because you have inside information on, hey, are we listing this guy as questionable, but he's been feeling great all week or whatever.
I hear you, but if you bet $10,000 on your team to lose, you're going to miss a block at the end of the game.
Right.
So,
I mean, as much as one person can, influence an NFL game, right?
Right, which is, of course, the NFL's worst nightmares, which is why they're coming down so hard on these guys, because it reminds me of boxing at a certain point. Once people start to think it's not completely straight up, the sport will really be in trouble. Now, I think it's very complicated for a couple of reasons. One, because they're getting so much money from sports gambling books. So the NFL, on one hand, is taking millions and millions of dollars from its players for using a product that they're getting millions and millions of dollars from. So the hypocrisy of that kind of hits you in the face. The other thing is, there was a great article in The Athletic today. The rules are not that simple. There's a lot of ambiguity, and a lot of people are claiming there's not that much education. Some guys are getting busted and saying, well, you should have read the handbook. What 24-year-old is reading a handbook?
Yeah.
So there seems like, first of all, I just read, I didn't know, I know Jameson Williams was suspended for placing a bet in the team facility.
Right.
I just read that you also cannot place a bet on the team plane or in the hotel that the team is playing for either. That's considered part of the team facility.
Wait, the hotel you're
Team
staying
hotels are officially, you cannot make a bet from there.
I bet the team plane, the team hotel,
Team plane.
anything.
How would you know the team hotel?
I mean, I think they're just trying to basically discourage this from everyone. Like, they're putting all these parameters in. Now, you might not have read the handbook, but you can always, call or text your NFLPA rep or ask somebody, hey, can I bet on this, I guess.
You could,
There's
but
resources out there if you really want to do this.
Players are already starting to say it's not well organized. It's not very clear to them how this all works. So,
yeah.
Which I can understand, because the NFL is saying, hey, you can bet on anything, just not the NFL.
I just want to make something clear. I guess there's some conflicting information about whether or not the person actually placed bets on the Colts. So there is a little conflicting there.
Oh, that's the thing about this story. There is some more information to come out.
But here's the thing. We can't be shocked by these stories anymore.
No.
It's happening in college, where I think it's even worse. I mean, remember, we'd have to go back even a couple weeks. The baseball story with the coach who got fired because the Alabama baseball coach got fired because he made a phone call when his star pitcher was getting scratched 2 hours before the game. I mean, college, and then all the stuff that happened at Iowa and Iowa State. College, I think, is where it's going to be a lot, I don't want to say more pervasive, I have no idea, but, where you don't have people making millions and millions of dollars. You have a lot of information floating out there, and the NCAA has a policy that you cannot bet on any sport that has an NCAA championship. So you can't bet on professional golf because the NCAA has a golf championship. You can't bet on
wait.
gymnastics.
So college players cannot bet on.
I don't think you can bet on, the way I read the stories, you can't bet on any professional league that has an NCAA championship. I thought that was true. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
So you can't bet on the Masters?
I don't think so.
Well, yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It's very, very confusing. And I think they're catching a lot of guys now because gambling is legal. So FanDuel and DraftKings gives up all the information.
Yep.
That's why, obviously, these players have probably been betting forever. I mean, since the beginning of time. But now they're getting caught, and the NFL is dinging them.
Well, in this instance, according to the early details, it was placing bets on an acquaintance's phone.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is, these guys should just all go to bookies and they'd be fine. But I don't know if those bookies are still around.
Yeah, I think bookies are bookies out of business now?
No, I think they're still, I mean, there's advantages. There's no tax reporting.
Right.
If you're an NFL player, you won't be suspended for games. Because really, the NFL would have no proof on a bookie.
Yeah, but the bookie, you're not really sure what other things are they involved with. They can be a little more shadowy. Sometimes they can be fronts for mob stuff.
Totally, but it's been going on for a long, long time, and there hasn't been any problems for NFL players until FanDuel and DraftKings came along. Not that, but I think more young people are betting too. I read a study that betting is way up for 20-somethings because it's in your phone. It's so easy, which is a lot of fun, but it's obviously a bigger risk. The other thing too about this betting thing. The real distinction to me is going to be a Tim Donaghy situation or something that we can directly prove maybe not anything that we can directly prove affected a game. That hasn't happened yet, but the odds are it probably is heading that way.
In this country, I mean, it's happened in soccer, it's happened in tennis,
Well,
it's
happened
in
here
other
in
places.
college basketball.
Oh, right. And there's been point
multiple
shaving
times.
scandals. Right.
There's been multiple point shaving, and it happened with Tim Donaghy.
Right.
So it's happened in the NBA, happened in college basketball, hasn't happened in the NFL yet, but I think that's really the worst nightmare. Do you think that's going to happen in our lifetime where a game is going to be thrown? It's a hard sport to throw.
It'd be a hard sport to throw. I remember once, oh man, how many years ago was this? It was like going back to 2017 or something. I'm sure the interview's online, but I did an interview with Warren Sapp, and I don't know how this came up in the interview with Sapp, but it was about maybe it was about putting a team in Vegas, something. For some reason, this was in the news before, obviously, the Raiders moved. And we asked him, what would be the one place on a football field where you would feel most concerned, is a guy throwing it?
Let me guess before. Yeah. I would think the quarterback.
The quarterback's making too much money. These guys, the no incentive to throw a game. No.
Wait. The center? Or the kicker?
You're getting a little bit closer. I'll give it to you. Special teams is one of them, not the kicker, though. You're a little closer on the center.
The long snapper?
Yes. The long snapper is the guy you got to be worried about because he's making money that we would love. He's making $400,000 or whatever he's making, but not millions of dollars.
That is juicy. So you're saying a couple bad snaps can really affect the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, it was hard not to raise an eyebrow a little with the Cowboys kicker last year, but there's no way this guy wanted to be missing those kicks. He just had the yips.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Eagles long time had the greatest long snapper of all time, John Dorenbos, who was a professional magician, who's still
a magician.
Yeah, still has a residency in Vegas. Long snappers are an interesting guy. I like that. But say, I'm curious, I don't know if you got to this, can a linebacker affect the spread? Can a cornerback? I mean, it's really, really tricky. I
think the only two would probably be long snapper, like you said, but you got to be sure that even game-winning field goal is, actually going to be determining the outcome of the game or whatever. You go through a game and not kick a field goal.
Yeah.
I lost to Robbie Gould.
Who was the Giants long snapper who lost that game against the 49ers? Was that Junkin? Who they were going for a game-winning field goal at the end of the game in the playoffs, and he missed the snap. Then he tried to throw the ball up in the air, and it just was a mess. Listen, long snappers have a very key part of it.
I know, but you gotta. How do you know it's going to come down to you?
Or how about an undrafted backup quarterback who fumbles a snap in a playoff game on a field goal attempt?
Oh,
look at you, Tony Romo.
It's been sitting under our noses this whole time.
I wouldn't say the quarterbacks are beyond reproach. I mean, listen, Art Schleicher was a number 5 overall pick whose life was ruined by, I don't know if it was sports gambling or gambling and a lot of other things. I mean, I think there could be situations where quarterbacks get into pickles where they owe something to somebody.
Yeah, but at this point,
what if you're a 10-point favorite and you make sure it comes within 10 points? I think they could have. You're right.
I mean, but if you're Patrick Mahomes, you can give out a $500 million contract. What do you care about $10,000, $20,000? It's not going to be first of all, you can pay to make most of your problems go away probably when you have that much money. And
well, they're not all. I mean, you just named the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, that's true. They're not, but a lot of them make a lot of money. I mean, it'd be hard to get to a quarterback. I think a running back also could be susceptible.
A little fumble.
Yeah, fumble.
Yeah,
left tackle.
This
and
is
those
tricky.
Guys are making a ton.
This is really an ugly topic, though, because it's really dangerous.
But it is ugly in terms of the addiction of gambling, for sure.
Well, I mean, ugly in the fact that I worry that it's going to ruin an NFL game. If this many players are getting busted already, and we just started this, what happens if a player just meets somebody who says throw the game?
I don't know. I'm not worried about players as much. To me, it's more of a Donaghy situation, like referees who get themselves into a bind. But the thing is about NFL referees, there's 8 of them. I mean, yeah, you've got the guy who,
and you have such a robust replay system. It's really hard for a ref.
Yeah.
Outside of maybe a really obscure pass interference play call late in the game or something.
Rams Saints, but how do you know that's going to happen again, or it's going to come down to you making the call? Again, you got referees, you got back judges, you got the sky cam, you got back in New York, you've got all these things. Back when Donaghy did this, you had 3 refs. It's
well, right. I do think...
And you can, in a ref in an NBA, can call anything at any time.
You could call, say you're advising people to bet the over, you'd call a lot of holding. Or no, you would call bet the under. You'd call a lot of offensive holding or defensive holding if you wanted the over. You could maybe get the score up on over-under.
Jay in Alabama's in the chat. Maggie Thurman Thomas, maybe. Thanks, Jay. I had to bring that up. We can never just do a segment on the show. It always has to end with somebody.
I mean, listen.
Somebody clowning my Bills.
Let's not be naive. There's probably been many football games that have been thrown. I mean, that's just a fact. I mean, it might not have all been thrown successfully, but there's probably been funny business.
You know what's interesting? I'm the number one sports conspiracy person on this show. I believe everything, frozen envelopes, all that stuff. I don't think this happens a lot.
I don't think it happens a lot.
College, maybe.
But do you think it's happened? Do you think that NFL games have been thrown?
I think it'd be impossible to do that. One person, unless you're talking about a real conspiracy where, like, the referee and the star quarterback are in cahoots or something. I don't think so. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. So we'll keep an eye on this emerging story, scandal, whatever. We'll see if we find out who the person is.
Yeah, and like how good and how important a player is. Are we talking about downgrading the Colts' chances? Although there was video this weekend. Did anyone see Anthony Richardson playing basketball?
I did. Was that from this weekend, or was that just an old clip?
It made the round. It went viral this weekend.
Yeah,
it could have made. I mean,
I was like, should he be playing for the Heat? He
yeah.
looked so good.
I'm such a sucker for a quarterback who's great at basketball. Immediately, although
don't want him playing during the season though.
I know, but Drew Lock apparently is an incredible basketball player, and I'm not as much into him.
Okay. I'm worried about like an Aaron Boone situation, or any professional athlete playing not their sport, blowing out their ACL.
Right. But I tend to judge quarterbacks by their general athleticism, though. So if you're a really great golfer, you're probably going to be good at quarterback. That's how it works.
Is that true? 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Okay, got a lot more to get to, including one thing we have not talked about yet when it comes to the NBA Finals. Also, one major star could be looking at time on the IL. For what, pray tell? We'll explain it. Don't move. More Maggie and Perloff, CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Okay, so we have this incomplete story on a Colts betting scandal. Welcome back to Maggie Perloff. Somebody on the Colts reportedly was placing bets through a friend. Now,
pervasive betting.
Now, did you see anything on the exact timing of when the bets were placed?
Like in the facility or out of the facility?
No, like what year was this, et cetera? Because there's some rumors circulating around the studio, the CBS Sports Radio studio. There was 2 years ago, and it was a certain redheaded quarterback who might have placed these bets.
Oh, no.
So Zach Gelb comes on afterwards and saying, if Carson Wentz placed the bets, that means you have to get rid of the Carson Wentz poster in the studio.
Listen, we're already getting rid of the poster.
I mean, can things go worse for Carson Wentz? Now he's being linked to this betting scandal?
I mean, the last game of the year against the Jaguars for the playoffs on the line was very, very fishy.
Honestly,
very fishy.
Who sprains 2 ankles in one game? That's just made up. I was thinking, too, the way they describe this Colts player is that a quote ardent NFL fan would know who they are. It's like an ardent NFL fan would hate this person. If they said that, an ardent NFL fan would not like this person.
This is getting a little too mean to Carson Wentz. There's no linking Carson Wentz to the gambling show. We're just joking because everybody here wants to get rid of this awesome Carson Wentz poster.
And by the way, kudos to Zach Gelb because he and Ryan are really doing their part here to try to get us to 1,000 new subscribers. So I appreciate their efforts here because now Perloff is trying to come in. He's trying to block it. He wants a Carson's Corner. That was not the arrangement. The arrangement was 1,000 new YouTube subscribers by the end of the finals, which maybe we bought ourselves an extra day or two. And we destroy the Carson Wentz poster live on the show.
Yeah, if it doesn't hit 1,000, then Carson's Corner is going to take over half the studio. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a shrine to Carson Wentz. It's going to go back to his Bismarck, North Dakota days, or South Dakota, I don't know, wherever Bismarck is. It is just going to be all things Carson Wentz.
You know what's going to happen? This studio, if Carson's Corner, if we don't hit the mark, and if we fail in this endeavor, or I'll take it on myself, if I personally fail in this, because I'm putting that on me, and you get Carson's Corner, what's going to happen is we're going to have to do one of those things like how kids who share a room like make a line down the middle of the room where you have to stay on your side and I have to stay on my side because the sight of a Carson's Corner is going to be so sickening to me. And just a constant reminder of my failures. I've already got a Bills corner to remind me of failures.
I don't know how you're going to not go into the Carson's Corner side. The door is on that side of the studio.
I'll make a new door. I'll roll my way over to WFAN and crawl out of here, Shawshank Redemption style.
I will say this, speaking of Zach Gelb, you may notice that there might be some bumps and bruises on Mr. Wentz.
Yeah,
Zach placed him on the floor. There were people walking on him.
I
He tossed him across the room.
It was a placemat,
A floor mat.
doormat. Yeah.
I mean, he's still intact, but, just a little worse for the wear.
Yeah, I noticed when I put it up, it was felt a little different.
All right. Well, it's like prepping him for the ultimate demise. But we need your help. YouTube.com/CBS Sports Radio. Hit subscribe, please.
I apologize. The capital of South Dakota is Pierre, like former Colt Pierre Garçon. So there's definitely a Colts tie in there as well.
That's the connection, that's for sure.
Pierre Garçon was a Week 14 pickup for me in 2012 and killed it. So I just wanted to give a little shout out to Pierre, who is not part of this Colts allegation scandal.
No, they said most of the wagering occurred during the 2022 season, but it did extend into 2023. So it is not Carson Wentz.
It is not Carson Wentz. Carson is safe.
He's safe for now.
Until we get to 1,000 YouTube subscribers.
and nobody's safe. But really just Carson. We're serious about that, by the way. YouTube.com/CBS Sports Radio. If you would hit subscribe, we'll get one step closer. Yeah, listen, this story is pretty crazy. We got to answer our Ask the Pros question of the day. It's brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Today's question comes from Santiago, who is in Westchester, who asked about Perloff's basketball tournament.
Uh-oh.
Don't forget, you can submit a question by tweeting at CBS Sports Radio or at Maggie and Pearl using the hashtag #AskThePros. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get guaranteed low prices and excellent customer service from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. I just have to ask quickly, Samter, was this new copy from you? Samter, did you write this new copy?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Did you write the new copy on the O'Reilly Auto Parts?
I didn't write it. I just updated it.
Okay. It's the wrong Twitter handle. So if it was you, I was going to make fun of you. Our Twitter handle is at Maggie and Pearl.
My apologies. No, that I edited. I just...
There's social media director. Okay, we're stalling to get to Perloff. I just thought that was funny.
So...
What happened? How'd it go?
I arrived at the scene. It is 25-mile-an-hour wind for an outdoor tournament. And I am
I see where this is going.
surefire three-point shooter. This is bad news. And it's double rims. I've played at this court before. I never liked it. I hated it on Saturday. It's a 4-on-4 tournament to raise money for a local park in Long Island City, Queens. And the tournament, the players weren't that great, but they all seemed to know the court really well. So we had a good team. We basically had 3 college-level players and me. It's a 4-on-4 tournament. And so we got killed. We almost won our first game. We probably should have won more, but we're all outside shooters, so the wind destroyed us.
Oh, man.
But there was one team that won it last year that was totally stacked. I swear to God, Nick Claxton was on this team. I couldn't believe it. There was a guy who had to be 7 feet tall. He was dunking on everybody, and I would have had to cover him. But luckily, they were losing a game to an inferior team, and the leader of the team was a bit of a hothead, got in a huge fight with the ref. There were refs there.
Oh, wow.
And we thought it was going to be a white man can't jump where people were going to start coming onto the court with guns. So everybody sort of scattered for a little bit, and we came back. But that team was disqualified.
Wow, you really kind of casually, described what could have been a pretty awful situation.
Yeah, well, no, it was. I think
we all scattered around a little bit, got a little popcorn, came back. Yeah, got a Gatorade.
Yeah, we moved from one side of the court where there was no exit to another side where there was an easy exit. We all made our escape plans. But it just got really heated. Like, people were not calming down. Basketball fights are usually much ado about nothing.
Yeah, it's a pushing and shoving. Hold me back.
This one was really intense, but it helped because that team that won the whole tournament last year got kicked out, and they would have destroyed us.
I'm
that guy would have dunked on
that guy got kicked out.
Well,
or the team or whatever.
You know what? Both sides, he wasn't totally at fault. Both sides were it got really heated. That's the thing. You add an official to any environment, and all of a sudden everybody is just pushes it up to 11. Everybody was fighting with everybody. Everyone was fighting with the officials. Jeez. And it was not my scene at all, and I played terrible. So I took a jump shot to start the game, and I swear a gust of wind, like a tornado gust of wind, took the ball. I lost all my confidence, so I decided to mid-game shift. I'm like, I'm taking it inside. I'm going to dust off my inside.
You, Duncan Robinson from last night.
I'm going to dust off my mic and drills. I'm going to take the ball inside. And man, do I not have the athleticism for that. I come down, I beat my guy, I get to the hole. A guy swats my shot to the third row. It was terrible. I was awful. I hurt the team.
Wait, did you bring your family here to witness all
No. I knew it was not going to be good.
Yeah.
So we lost all 3 games.
You know, it's funny because I didn't see any like wind advisories or anything.
I did.
Oh.
You didn't look.
I didn't notice it was very windy on Saturday.
There were legit wind advisories. It was going 25 miles an hour.
Sure. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm just saying.
Is there a place on the internet where you can look up wind history?
Past weather.
That'd be the saddest website of all time.
Wind advisory.
What happened 2 days ago? Why would anyone need that information?
Oh, boy. All right. No, I'm not finding anything.
Nobody has the past weather.
You're saying I'm making up wind as an excuse for playing terribly?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm implying it. No, I'm not. I'm sorry that the conditions weren't better. That sucks.
Yeah, it was
you usually
not good.
play indoors, no?
Yeah, if it was indoors, we still would have lost, but at least I would have played better.
Oh. And that's all that counts.
That's all that counts at the end of the day. My stat line was like 2 for 9, 8 rebounds, 3 assists over a course of 3 games. Not good.
Hopefully this goes better than the NBA in-season tournament, because Adam Silver was on NBA TV and he was describing what the tournament's going to be like, and I don't think Barkley really understood.
I think the notion there is like taking a page from international soccer, where they have other things to compete for, not just, in our case, the Larry O'Brien trophy. So we're actually taking, for the most part, a series of games, regular season games, and we're designating those as tournament games. Those games will count both for the regular season and for this in-season tournament. And then the 4 teams that are still standing will come together, and we'll go to a neutral site, and then they'll play for a separate trophy.
Yeah, so it's you got all that? It's regular season games that also count as tournament games, and then the 4 teams that have the best records will go to a neutral site, Vegas, and will play a tournament, I guess, a Final Four.
I still don't get it. I'm still not. I understand the logistics of it.
Yeah.
I still don't understand
why they're doing this.
I understand why they're doing this, but I don't understand why teams are going to care or why fans are going to care.
They asked about that. Barkley said, hey, we're already living in like a load management era. Nobody wants to play. Why will this work?
It'll be a new tradition. It'll probably take a little bit while to get it going, but it's a long season to play for one championship at the end, and it's not going to replace the Larry O'Brien trophy, but it's our hope that, just like in college, there's a lot of, there's a Thanksgiving tournament or a holiday tournament, and guys who play in those tournaments, they care about winning. It's not a replacement for the NCAA tournament, but it's to give a little bit more, something more special, a little bit more incentive.
Yeah, I mean, I get it more from the soccer standpoint. When you start saying it's going to be like college basketball, does anyone... Those guys want to win those holiday tournaments, but just because it goes with their record, it's not because anyone wants to win the holiday tournament, is it?
No, I don't think so at all.
I think he was just trying to make it different because he kept talking about soccer throughout the interview.
This is a better analogy.
Just a different analogy for our audience. But he also mentioned to Barkley later on, as Barkley was still like, I don't get it. Why would good teams care about this? He said there's also going to be a significant financial windfall for the teams that win. So I think at the end of the day, like, again, if you're the Nuggets and you have the 1 seed, maybe your motivation is a little bit less than if you're the Pistons and you're terrible or whatever it is.
See, I don't think it's for the good teams. I think it's for the up and coming teams because they are less likely to load manage, although in this day and age, who knows? And then the other part is, I mean, honestly, we just went through Kyrie Irving has made $275 million just in basketball. What is going to be the amazing financial incentive for him, for LeBron, for Jokic, for anyone who signed a Supermax? There's no incentive. So it's for the other guys on the team or for the up-and-coming teams.
Which is kind of weird. I mean, so you're saying basically there's going to be a series of games where players 3 through 10 are trying really hard, but players 1 and 2 don't care. And I don't know. It's just odd. How does it work? So soccer, I find soccer confusing. I'm not going to lie to you. That there's Champions League, there's World Cup, there's Premier League, there's all sorts of things. None of these things water down the other things, or they're all equally ultimately important?
Part of it for soccer, there is a little bit of a difference because most of the main leagues in Spain, in England, they don't have playoffs, right? So whoever wins the regular season wins the championship. But things like the Champions League, the Europa Cup, the FA Cup, like this weekend, Man City is on the verge of winning what they call the treble, right? The Premier League Championship, the FA Cup, and the Champions League. They're in the finals. The only other team that's ever done it is Manchester United, like almost 20 years ago, 15 years ago. So it's historic. So winning
like
the Champions
triple crown, if you will.
Yes, it's called the treble, they call it. It's historic. And so the Champions League, winning that is almost as important as winning the Premier League, almost as important as winning La Liga or the Bundesliga. And the FA Cup, it might not be as important as the Champions League, but it's still very important. And so like Adam Silver said in the cut, it's going to take a while for this mid-season tournament trophy to become prestigious, but eventually teams will be like, oh, we won it 3 years in a row. We're the best mid-season tournament team ever, or whatever. It's going to eventually.
You against nobody, so
right.
Congrats.
So like the first year of the Champions League may not have meant what it means now.
So I think here's the biggest thing this boils down to. Should we be covering this as a topic? Samter thought maybe we should talk about, what is it, Man United? Man City.
Man City.
Man City. Man City is on the cusp of this thing. Should we take a show vote or should we put it to the Weedos? How do we do this? Does anyone want us to talk about what's going on in Europe on Saturday? Emmanuel, yes or no?
No.
Solid. Perloff, yes or no?
Oh, man. I don't want to be that dorky old guy who says no to soccer. I say yes.
All right.
I vote also no. Samter and Stu, I know what you guys are going to say.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes and yes.
And so here's my thing, though. I'm not just a blanket yes. I'm a yes because right now it's the NBA Finals. Most likely by Thursday, Friday, the series might be mostly done.
But there's only one more game.
There's a game on Wednesday.
Oh, okay. So there you go. So
the next game is Wednesday. Yeah,
that's so
way to have a
crazy.
handle on the schedule, producer.
It just feels like there should be more than one game a week. It doesn't have to leave. But that's part of it, right? There's going to be one game this week that we're going to have time to react to.
You don't think
what else are we going to talk about? We're talking about baseball in June.
Have we ever had trouble coming up with something to talk about?
Right, but we're not going to have trouble finding things to talk about, but this is something that is important. Now, if it was in the middle of the football, to the world.
The world
Which
in this
world?
studio? I don't know about the world in this studio.
Well, listen.
You narrowly won a 3-2 vote in this studio.
Now that we're on YouTube, I mean, we're global, all right? We're not just, put into CBS Sports Network and CBS Sports Radio here domestically.
We're on in Canada.
Yes, but we're global now. We can be found anywhere. Are you telling me that people in Manchester, England, are not watching us right now? Come on, of course they are.
Are we the official Manchester, England show?
So I don't know, though. I'm getting some soccer snob vibes.
Yeah, kind of. I am, too.
Because also I get very, very sensitive about Man City, Manchester United. How do I refer to those two teams? Because if you refer to them the wrong way, you sound like an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, how do you say with the two teams?
What, United and City?
Yeah, United and City. What if I said Man U, would I sound like a dork?
No, I think that's fine.
No, it's like Arizona and Arizona State. It's just two different programs from the same
Dave, you can call them different things, and it's not just one name.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard way different things from my soccer friends. If you refer to Manchester United the wrong way, you sound like a total bloke.
Do you understand? I once almost got bullied off the internet because I said Lionel Messi.
Ooh.
I know. Thank you, Stu, for that proper response because I got booed basically by thousands of people. I almost deleted my account.
What? Get out of here.
I swear.
Your Twitter account?
It
Do you
was
have thousands
terrible.
of Messi fans?
Because someone else who's really in the soccer world retweeted our video. And so it was Grant Wall, may he rest in peace. And so it came out on this hardcore soccer feed. And then all of a sudden, I basically almost had to go into hiding. I just made a mistake. And also I have an upstate New York accent. Doesn't really go with Argentina sometimes.
What'd you call him?
Lionel Messi, and it's Lionel.
It is?
Exactly. All right, I think we got our votes there. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. We didn't mention it. Superstar could be heading to the IL. We'll tell you why, what happened, all of it. Don't move. More Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio right after this CBS Sports Update with Emmanuel Barbari.
Sports Flash.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect your family, your phone, and your furry friends with life, electronic device, and pet health insurance. NFL, a Colts player reportedly being investigated for gambling on games. Player supposedly placed hundreds of wagers, including on his own team on Colts games. Baseball, Rays looking to take the last 3 at Fenway, win 3 of 4 against the Red Sox, 3-1 lead into the 7th inning. Manuel Margot, Francisco Mejia with RBI singles. Rays ace Shane McClanahan, 6 innings of 1-run balls, ERA down to 2.02 on the season. McClanahan looking to go to 9-1. Stanley Cup Final, Game 2 tonight. Golden Knights a 1-0 series lead over the Panthers. Vegas can go up 2-0 at home, or the Panthers can even the series up. NBA Finals now in Miami's control, tied at 1 after the Heat comeback last night for Jimmy Butler. Miami next 2 in South Beach.
We're so focused in on what we do well and who we are as a group that at the end of the day, that's what we fall back on. Make or miss shots, we're going to be who we are because we're not worried about anybody else. It's how it's been all year long, and that's not going to change.
Game 3 on Wednesday night. I'm Emmanuel Barbari.
CBS Sports is everywhere, at home, in your car, and of course on your phone and tablet. Find us on your local affiliate, Sirius XM Channel 158, or the free Odyssey app.
CBS Sports Radio.
'You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. Minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. Deciding whether or not we're going to talk about soccer in the near future. I'm told by our pal Nick in Texas in the chat, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio, if you want to watch the show, that we are indeed a global show. We got Rodney Duncan, lives in Japan, and he listens. He tells Nick all the time. What time is it over there? So we get on the Google for that as I get to the shot of the day. Let's do it.
He shoots!
And the shot of the day is brought to you by Casamigos Tequila. Casamigos is brought to you by those who drink it. I'm told it's 6:48 in the morning in Japan. All right, the Casamigos shot of the day, hi Rodney, comes from earlier in the show. The show bet tied in with the NBA Finals. Perloff has already managed to lose. Now, he might not be the only loser, but he so far has lost because it was not a sweep for either the Nuggets or the Heat. He picked 4 games, or he was kind of left with 4 games. Has 4 games. It's not going to be a sweep. So that means he's got to eat the world's spiciest chicken nugget.
So if I go to a restaurant, I can order something dangerous enough to blind me?
You might.
This is insane.
Perloff, you knew what you were signing up for.
No. I don't see people walking around like, oh, yeah, my brother-in-law died from a ghost pepper.
This
has never happened.
Grief.
People are also telling me, by the way, that after you eat these wings, be very careful if you go to the restroom. For men, to go to the bathroom, you have to use your hands. That could be a very uncomfortable situation.
Have you
bad
seen the
enough
soap
for my
around?
throat to swell up. I don't want anything down there swelling up. Not for this.
Maybe you do. I don't know.
Oh, boy. I'll tell you what. If we talk about something that happens in the bathroom for 30 seconds on this show, Samter will make it the shot of the day.
Absolutely.
That was 20 seconds of 3 hours of radio. And, of course, that's the shot of the day. Yeah, Samter, you are nothing but consistent. We love you for it. You have an update, Perloff.
Yes, so we have a new player in this game. Somebody with 1 million Twitter followers who wants to give us some advice on how to do it.
Wow, Dan Patrick?
No. Buffalo Wild Wings just tweeted at me, may we suggest a blazing challenge with our new knockout sauce?
Oh, no.
So I just looked it up.
It's getting real. You're right.
I just looked up, that sounds fun. Blazing challenge. So I Googled it, and it's a 5-page long legal form to even do this.
Oh, gosh.
And in all caps, all it says, each participant will be required to execute a release, hold harmless and indemnity agreement prior to participation in the challenge. So apparently we're signing over our life rights here to take this spicy knockout challenge. But BW3 wants to get involved, And I'm down. I mean, at least they're a big company. They wouldn't kill people with their spices, would they?
I don't know. Every time we do something, I always imagine the New York Post headline is like idiot radio host, da-da-da-da. I don't know why they're calling us that, but that's always what they would call us.
I know. I don't want somebody to some outsider bring in a pepper, be like, oh, this is no big deal. Then it turns out to be a Carolina Reaper.
No,
and I'm in the emergency room.
We're not going to Marinix Garden to get this. It's got to be something that's been approved by the FDA.
By the way, Carolina Reaper would have been a great nickname for Julius Peppers.
I was thinking about that.
Julius Peppers,
well,
the Carolina
maybe
Reaper.
Luke Kuechly could have been.
But Julius Pepper, I just thought of, oh my God, this is too little
right
too late.
there.
Well, actually, did they have some good play? Anyway, regardless.
No, Julius Peppers is up for the College Football Hall of Fame. Did you see they put out the ballots for that? Larry Fitzgerald and Michael Vick.
Wasn't Julius Peppers a better basketball player than football player in college? But whatever. Anyway.
He's up for the College Football Hall of Fame.
I mean, he would be a surefire first ballot if his nickname was Carolina
Reaper.
Yeah.
That is cool. Where are we? Yes.
We need to find
Buffalo Wild Wings. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
that's pretty cool that they tweeted us.
If they want to get on board.
The knockout sauce is also known as the Blazing Carolina Reaper sauce.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
You're making that up.
No, I'm on the B-Dubs website. 10 Blazing
We can't
Carolina.
get away from this thing.
10 Blazing Carolina Reaper wings.
We cannot get away. Ever since Marinick mentioned the Carolina Reaper, it's like it's been following us like an actual Grim Reaper. Like it's just shadowing us. Like we're gonna end up eating this thing.
Yeah. So the Blazing Challenge, you actually get a headband and you have to eat ice cream also. That sounds fun.
No, you have to because like the dairy will.
It's served with ice cream, so that's kind of their way to save themselves.
To Samter, it's like one of those friendly ice creams with like the cone upside down like a hat. It's like no, it's so you don't burn your taste buds off.
Wait, you have to wear a headband like
no,
Mr.
they
Miyagi?
give you
What's going on here?
as like a reward.
Oh, I thought it was like a sweatband. You get sweat in your eyes.
It is a sweatband, but I don't know if you have to wear it. I think they just give it to you as a prize.
Wow. So
I want out of this.
Is Buffalo? No, not out.
Somebody give me some double or nothing.
In, so we must be too.
To be honest, you're not out. You're the first one in.
Yeah, you're the only one not out.
To be honest, you're in.
Can I bet that Caleb Martin will score 30 points a game? I need it desperate.
There's no Hail Marys. Moist in the chat says Perloff's not going to make it.
This is what you get for being a good person and diverting your pick to Nick and allowing him to take Game 6.
I can't do this.
You're doing it. If Buffalo Wild Wings is now on it, then we're doing it.
So Buffalo Wild Wings has this dangerous Carolina Reaper sauce. What else do they have? I've been to Buffalo Wild Wings. I had fried pickles and a Diet Coke, and it was great. I did not know that they were putting people in the emergency room.
There's more to Buffalo Wild Wings than meets the eye, apparently.
Just don't touch your eyes after you eat the sauce.
Yeah, that's true. Or any other part of your body, as we learned.
Yeah.
Any other sensitive areas might not have a lot of thick skin.
Oh, there's so many jokes. Oh, God.
Sorry, I just repurposed the shot of the day. It's not me, it's you guys.
It's not my fault that we talk about have bathroom humor
I know.
3 times a show.
And somehow it infiltrates.
Usually when you have burning sensation down there, it's time for penicillin, but this time it's just what you ate.
It's time for the Larry O'Brien trophy. Thank you, Mike Samter, Stu Kovacs. Thank you to the Weedos, the Purple Drinkers, the chat. All right. Stay tuned. We'll have more on this tomorrow, allegedly. All right, see ya.